Testing. Yeah. Say something real quick.
Always check it might be May.
That's a good one. Here we go. Welcome. Yeah. No, go ahead. Live TV. Why not?
Live from the virtual Mechanics Institute Chess Club.
Welcome, everyone. This is the Tuesday Night Marathon. This is rounds 3 and 4. My name is Abel Talamantes. I'm chess director at the Mechanics Institute, and with me is FIDE Master Paul Whitehead.
Yes. I'm hanging in there, Abel. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic. And behind the scenes, we have a chief tournament director and mechanics general manager of youth outreach and events, Judith Stare, who, for the Tuesday night marathons, we do the pairings manually. So she is behind the scenes, ready to start the games at 6:30. And this is rounds 3 and 4, and we got some big matchups in the top section. Pranav Sairam is going to have white on board 1 against Alexander Lenderman, Grandmaster.
Let's see it. Oh, it hasn't started yet.
Has not started yet. And then board 2 is Kyron Griffith against Arul Viswanathan. And Arul
What's Arul rating?
He's 2071. But he is tough. I've seen him draw IAMs before, so he has a style that can present some problems. On board 3, Ashik Uzaman against International Master Elliot Winslow. And then board 4 is Ruiyang Yan against Alex Chin. And those are the top 4 boards, all with 2 out of 2.
Okay.
And so those games will be starting pretty soon. And as soon as we do...
I think I need to probably put on my headset, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, so that I look like a space alien while I'm commenting.
You look like official.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, like a sports announcer.
And yeah, everyone's online. And before we get started, kind of the big announcement for us at Mechanics is U.S. Chess is allowing us to organize the 2020 U.S. Cadet Championship. That'll take place September 25th through the 27th, so it starts next Friday. And it's an 8-player invitational for the top under 16-year-olds in the country. So the 6 players are chosen by USCF rating. 1 player is the winner of the Barber Championship, which was played online. And 1 player is an organizer wild card. So those make up the 8 players.
Okay, so who are the 8 players?
So we sent the invites. Confirmed to play thus far are, let me pull up the list, is Christopher Yu, International Master, Christopher Yu.
Super strong.
Yeah. And then Robert Shliaktenko.
Don't know the gentleman.
Yeah, he's strong. 2459 rated. He was the Barber winners, and that's how he qualified. And then the other ones that have accepted are Maximilian Liu, who's 2431, and the organizer wild card. We picked Ruiyang Yan.
Nice. So that's 4 of 8, I think.
4 of 8, yeah. So she's 2242. She is definitely the underdog, but we're very supportive of her and of girl players, and she is definitely one that we know is not afraid to mix it up and compete and battle. And we think an experience like this against players like this are only going to serve her and serve chess.
This is going to be her breakout tournament. I'm rooting for her.
Yeah, and she's definitely up for it. So it's an honor for us to have picked her, and we're glad she accepted that invitation.
And who else is playing?
Those are the 4 that accepted.
Okay.
Other players were invited, and we're sort of waiting on them. So kind of don't want to say until they confirm or deny the invitation. But first prize is a $6,000 scholarship.
Nice.
Provided by both U.S. Chess and Dwayne Barber, who is the Dean of Scholastic Chess.
Right.
And then there's also a $1,200 prize pool on top of that provided by U.S. Chess. So a lot of money on the line. And thank you to Dwayne Barber and the U.S. Chess Federation for supporting an event like this and supporting
Absolutely.
our top under 16 players.
And we're gonna be providing some commentary, right? Nick DeFermian.
Yeah,
Grandmaster Nick DeFermian.
Grandmaster Nick DeFermian and Paul Whitehead will.
Who's that guy?
Some FIDE master. And he will be, we'll be doing streaming of all the rounds. It's going to be 1 round on Friday night, next Friday, and then 3 rounds Saturday, 3 rounds Sunday. The time control is going to be G70 plus 10. So those will be the time controls, and we're looking forward to that. And we're honored to be only the 2nd club in the country to organize a U.S. Chess National Championship. The other one's going to be St. Louis Chess Club, who's organizing the U.S. Championship, the US
they've been doing it for a while.
The junior girls and the U.S. senior all online this year. And Patrick Wolf will be playing in the U.S. senior.
Is that right? Does that mean we're muscling in on St. Louis's territory? Does it have that kind of feel to it?
We're sort of we're standing next to them saying, hey, we're here too.
Right.
You can do it, and so can we. So we don't have the money, but we have the know-how.
Yeah.
So know-how can go a long way.
So I heard the tournament started. Our tournament, the incredible Tuesday night marathon.
It has started. There's a couple of players we're waiting on.
There's a name from the past, Theo Biasis.
Yeah, he registered late for the tournament, so he is in. So.
And where can people see the standings and the pairings and all that stuff?
Let me put the website. Let me respond.
So we're watching Ashik Uzaman play Elliot Winslow, international master Elliot Winslow, world famous chess player, raconteur, backgammon player, poker player.
Backgammon player too. That was sort of surprised. I shouldn't have been surprised, but
no, Elliot's he's a legend.
It's funny how deep it goes with his talents, right?
Yeah, and he goes far back in chess before Fischer hit Fischer-Spassky match.
And then here we have I just pulled up Pranav Sairam and Alexander Lenderman here.
Okay.
And I put the link in the chat where you can find the standings and the pairings and what have you, so you can go there. And if you want to say who's matched up with who and what the standings are, you can look at that. I'm still looking for some.
Let's stay on the Lenderman game just for a second, unless you need to pull up some.
No. I'll stay on this game. I'm pulling up games, so that's why it'll switch. But I will switch back to that game as soon as I can. I just like to have the games.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
So then we can yak about them later.
Is Carla playing? Oh, this is Carla's game right here.
Jonah Bush, wow, and Carla Heredia.
Yeah, that's a tough match.
This will be a good match for Jonah Bush.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay. All right, I think these are the games we can go. Oh, let me pull up this one game here.
Okay. So Lenderman, who's going to get Lenderman?
Well, I think here's back at that game with Pranav and Alexander Lenderman. I think starting round 4, I think that's when it's going to get thick, because that we're going to have possibly Kyron, possibly Elliot, possibly Rui.
Right.
And I know none of those 3 are afraid to mix it up with anybody, so that should be really interesting. But it's still a round to go, and nothing's guaranteed, so we'll see. And Pranav's no joke. He finished 3rd in the last TNM. So
yeah, but this opening is a success for Black, who's traded off the white square bishops and has easy equality. Yeah,
the Caro-Kann again. We saw Lenderman play that a lot at the Summer Blitz.
White has been completely not ambitious in this. And Black has an easy game. The absence of the light squared bishops just means very solid position for black. Yeah. So who's on second board?
I just flipped to Rui and Alex Chin. This is actually board 3, I believe. Board 3.
Okay. This opening is familiar. This is some book position, I think.
This is out of the Sicilian Dragon.
Yeah. And I saw a very complicated game like this recently from this opening. There's a theory goes quite deep in this, but I don't know what's going on here. I can't say for sure.
Oh, let's move to Kyron's game, which is board 2.
Yeah. Okay, so white's trying to play knight c6. This is another Najdorf-y kind of a thing.
That is a Najdorf. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. White's trying to play knight c6 and another complicated game. Still getting going here. Yeah.
All right.
Wow, these guys are, what about Elliot's game? Probably another Najdorf.
Let's see. I don't think so because he was... Oh, maybe. I think you're right.
Whether he's white or black, it's going to be a Najdorf.
Is the Grand Prix attack. It was a Sicilian.
That's
Sicilian because he played F4.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this looks like it's an even game. A slow system for white, and black is doing fine here.
And I don't know how he does it, but Max Howe is in the chat of Twitch, of course, while he's playing.
Which game? Who's he playing?
Who is he playing, actually?
Right. How do people do that?
Well, I mean, it's one thing to do it, right? But, like, he should be focusing on his games. He's playing Nicholas Boldy.
Oh, okay.
So, that's not an easy match at all.
Right,
he's probably he's the underdog in that match, and he's like in the Twitch.
What about Roy? How's her game going here?
Let's go to Rui here. She is white. She played Rook D2 to defend against that C2.
Oh yeah, this game. That's right.
So you think?
Well, we'll be keeping an eye on this.
Yeah.
I don't know what the theory is or anything about this position. If it is, it looks like the chances are probably equal here. If it's a theoretical position, I'm not sure. White's bishop is maybe in a little bit of danger to e6 and then a4. So there's some
gotta look out.
Some strange possibilities here that black might be able to trap the bishop.
Like, what if he goes? No, I guess that doesn't.
Yeah. So, if I'm Roy, I'm thinking about that.
Can you do something like e5?
Well, pawn takes e5, and then maybe bishop f7 check. Yeah, F7. I like the look of that. That's an excellent.
I can't believe I saw that.
An excellent idea.
Every now and then, I'm able to see something.
No, you've got the chops. You've got the chops.
Although I feel like I see a lot more when I'm commentating than when I'm playing. So I don't know what that means.
That's interesting.
Probably that I'm doing the right thing.
On e5, maybe. Playing. I mean, black probably is fine. Can play bishop f5 or something like that. But it's good that you're looking at tactics first. That kind of gets that stuff out of the way. To be looking at tactics and have that in the forefront of your mind is a good way to approach the game. I think.
Let me find some tricks first, and then if I don't find tricks, then I look for the best move.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Speaking of which, I was playing over the games of the Marshall last year Marshall match. Man, that was really a one-sided World Championship match.
And for your class on the World Champions, that the Thursday nights, 6:30, the part one.
It's a free class.
Part one that you're doing right now is completely free, and we even have a Facebook post about it. If you're interested in that, you can just register. Go to the page. Let me throw it up there. because we have a good class right now. We've got about 15 or so people in there, and strong people. Elliot's in that class. Alexi Root's in that class. Fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a lecture. I wouldn't call it a class so much as just a conversation and going over some of the famous games and some of the dramatic moments of. This coming Thursday, we're looking at all of the Lasker's World Championship matches, except for his one with Capablanca.
Got it. Yeah. And I think that style is cool to have it be like a lecture where you're you can sit back and learn and see some games and then learn about.
Yeah, they kind of flash by in the quick of an eye, but that's kind of the way I'm doing it.
But I kind of like when we thought about this concept, right? You, I, and you, me, and Judith. You were thinking this is like a class where even a very strong player would be interested in, because that may not know some of the history of some of the World Championship matches in the past, right?
Yeah, I'm no historian, so I'm kind of learning as we go along too, and just basically it's just looking at these matches. Some of the games I'm looking at for the first time, going all the way back to the McDonald-Labordine match. And this next one class covers 6 Lasker matches. 2 matches with Steinitz. I'm reading it off the page here. His match with Marshall, which was just absolutely crushing. 8-0 with 7 draws.
And Alexi Root's singing your praises right now. She's singing in the chat. It's really good.
Oh, that's funny, because I'm not an analyst and I'm not a historian, but
that is not a paid advertisement. It's straight out unsolicited. And
so these matches are interesting. There's the 2 matches with Steinitz, his match with Marshall, his match with Tarash, Schlechter, and Janowski. So we're looking at all these matches. I'm picking 3 to 5 games from each match, kind of breezing through them, and talking about the players' styles and dramatic moments and a little bit of chess history, a little bit of baloney.
A little controversy though every now and then, a little action.
Yeah. For example, it's interesting that Marshall and Janowski, we'll go back to our TNM games in a second, but Marshall and Janowski both lost 8-0 to Lasker, and both of them just put down Lasker's play. Marshall barely mentions Lasker at all, and just says that this is not the way I play chess, just to win material, and he makes Marshall look so bad. And what happens is Lasker gets his revenge by just he knows these guys are bad mouthing him, and then he just takes the knife and twists it, and just it's quite funny. It's quite funny.
Speaking of which, now we have Alex Chins in the chat answering Alexi Root, because I guess Alex and Alexi are working on an article, Chess and Golf.
Oh, that's
no, another article that's going to feature with Mike Walder.
Okay.
Alex Chins. So
Mike Walder is back.
And I connected Alexi with Jen Desideri, our accountant, so perhaps there might be a chess and running, chess and stair climbing, chess and running, chess and walking, chess and...
Right. Yeah.
Chess and breathing.
Chess. Whatever. Chess has been,
Chess is life.
Chess is life.
All right, what do we got here with Pranav and Lenderman?
Well, I mean, another pair of minor pieces, a pair of knights have gotten exchanged. And so, I mean, Lenderman, in order to try to win this, needs to create some kind of imbalance. I think that White has played a good plan here, which is to try to play a5. But still, game is kind of imbalanced. Maybe Lenderman's going to try to play f6 and e5 and really blow the game open. If he does that, we're going to get a sharp bite. If he just sits still and does nothing, the game, So my feeling is it's still equal, but the game could get sharp soon.
And let me pull up Chiron's game here, because speaking of could get sharp.
So white has the 2 bishops. Black's king is still in the middle.
And by the way, before you go on, Alex Chin, if you're listening to this game, there's an email that you need to respond to before the next round. So make sure you take a look at that. That's it. So because since you're in the chat, I know you're listening. So just check that out.
Oh, okay. Is that Aching Golf?
Aching Golf. Which I guess it makes sense. He'd be doing chess and golf, right? Because hopefully his golf game's not aching. Yeah.
So white's got bishop h3 coming up here, maybe as well. Now white's definitely better, I think, here with the 2 bishops and
for that pawn.
Unbalanced position. I like white here for sure.
Let's take a look at Elliot.
Okay.
He has black here against Ashik Uzman.
Okay. Well, this is black playing in the hyper modern style with the double fianchetto bishops, and actually that's like right out of the opening too, which was a Grand Prix attack?
Yeah,
very popular against a Sicilian going way back into the 1800s. And black is playing as hyper modern a way as you can, letting white overextend with the pawns, and double fianchetto with the bishops, and so forth. Nice game.
Look at this game here. This is the top board in the under 1800 section. This is Pradeep, who's black, against Martin Camacho.
Okay.
Look at this setup.
Yeah, this is looks like a Nimzovich Larsen opening, maybe.
That is right.
B3.
Nimzovich Larsen.
Right.
Very good.
And black is playing a nice open style. There was a famous game Spassky, Larsen versus Spassky, and where black just plays these normal E5 and D5 and against B3, and plays an open style. Very attractive way to play for black. And just simple moves.
Let's do a check-in on the Jonah Bush and Carla Heredia game here.
Okay.
Queens are off the board.
Sharp position. Even with queens off the board. Yeah.
And time control, as you can see up there in our G35 +2. So we're going to have a round 4 at 8 p.m. So 6:30 p.m. and 8 p.m. are the rounds. So 2 games tonight.
Jonah Bush is no slouch. I mean, has been getting. I like white's game. I like this knight h4 move, going for the 2 bishops, and basically just going for the 2 bishops. I like it here. Knight h4 is a fine move.
Trying to see if Carla can bounce back after the upset loss last week with against Ashik Uzman.
Maybe knight c2 check. Maybe knight c2 check here. I'm not sure. I mean, I like white's game. Knight h4 is a nice move.
But knight c2 check, doesn't that trade off a? Well, no, I guess it's not really a bad knight, right?
Yeah, well, white's knight can come to b5 too. So I'm not sure. I'm just trying to find a move for black here that avoids. I mean, bishop g6, white plays d takes e6, f takes e6, knight takes g6, and then black's pawns are just destroyed on the king side, absolutely destroyed. So I'm trying to find a way to avoid that.
Yeah, and that's probably the way to do it.
You can leave the bishop on f5, but then white will just take it with a really nice game. Just a very simple knight takes f5 will leave white with a big positional plus here.
Let me do a check-in on Chiron's game.
Yeah.
This almost looks a little like Rui's game, a bit.
Is that game still going on?
Yeah, Ruiz is. Yeah, because like you see this, now I'm going to switch to Ruiz game. So
Okay.
We have this position here.
This similar Sicilian, yeah.
And then that's...
Right. And since people are listening in on the chat, we won't comment at all. Right. People that we know are in the chat should not be.
Yeah. So we won't comment on...
No, you're in the chat.
We won't comment on Alex's game.
Right.
So let's go back to the Chiron game here. So
yeah.
Our rule is attacking c2, and Chiron's just played rook h2 to defend that.
Yeah, so White's just, got a nice game here with bishop h3 maybe coming up, or, Black's going to feel nervous about castling on the king side, but he's going to probably have to do. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Interesting. Still a fight, though. Still a fight.
Let's check in on Theo Biasis, who is black here, against Rudolf Breet. And Theo got buys for the first 2 rounds and joined starting now, this week.
Well, somehow Black's won a pawn. The White gave it up, or, So Black must be, and without any serious weaknesses, Black has to be better here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see what White has for it. A little more space, but that's it. So Black is much better.
Nothing substantive. Let's take a look at this game. Christian Clemens and Joylin Shaw.
Wow, and Christian Clemens gave Alexander Lenderman a real scare.
It made him think.
It made him think, yeah. Not a scare so much, it's just made him think.
Oh, and that was a game where he looked like he was about to get, annihilated, right? I mean, he was playing solid throughout, and then got to a point where, he was down the exchange, and it looked like the end was near, and then all of a sudden it got complicated, and it was kind of exciting to watch.
This looks like a decisive advantage practically for White, despite the equal material. I mean, the Black is getting tied up here, and that knight on d6 is just
pretty strong.
Incredibly strong. I can see Black losing material in a move or two somehow.
All right.
Knight b5 now, maybe, or something like that. Black seems to be in trouble. I mean, even knight d5 would win the queen. So, right? Because
knight d5.
If queen takes d6, knight f6 check. Actually, that's maybe too many pieces for the queen. That's like 2 knights and a rook for the queen. Not good. Yeah.
I'll take the 2 knights and the rook.
Yeah, maybe knight to b5, and then where can the queen go? It has to go to a8, and then something. Rook c7, knight c7. Wow, I mean, Black is just so on the ropes there. Knight b5. What happens after knight b5? Queen a8 is forced, because if knight c5, pawn to b4, wins a piece. Yeah. Tough game for Black, however you slice it.
Switching to the top board with Pranav and Lenderman.
Wow, White is pushing here with some aggressive moves here.
Yeah, look at that.
Great.
Look at those pins right there.
Yeah, this is really great. Look at this. Lenderman is pushed back here, and White's pieces are coming in. If White can maybe win the b6 pawn, after which Black is going to be in trouble.
Yeah,
wow, this is something. Lenderman has been moving extremely fast and seem to have the better opening, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. If White plays knight a4, it looks like the b6 pawn is just about pretty close to lost. I mean, I guess Black can play queen d8. Anyway, white's putting some pressure on here.
And black's pieces don't look.
Yeah. Even if white just played knight to d3 and then double rooks on the a file, black is got knight d3 also threatens knight to b4, winning the rook. So black seems to be in some trouble here.
Let's see if he can work his way out of it. And actually,
it's finally time somebody tried to nail Lenderman.
And Alex Lenderman is actually in the field for the U.S. Championship, which is going to be organized online through the St. Louis Chess Club. So he will be playing for the U.S. Championship, the Invitational.
I think black is in trouble here, or is at least probably losing a pawn. Something like knight d3, knight d6, bishop d6, rook d6, and then rook b6. And wins a pawn.
All right,
something along those lines.
Something is brewing here.
So yeah, it's funny how this happened. Surprising.
And here's board 2 with Chiron and Arul, and Arul is still up a pawn here.
Oh, that's right. I failed to notice that earlier. So white has the positional compensation. And is again trying for bishop e4 here. Let's see what happens after queen takes f3. Bishop takes b5 check, wins the queen. So
yeah, that's it.
White's going to play bishop e4 and get a gigantic bind on the light squares. If maybe black should play d5. D5 looks like the move.
Wow, he plays King F8.
King F8? Oh, no.
Not fond of that one.
No, I'm not. What about G5? D5, if bishop F5, rook D8, maybe you'd lose a D pawn, but it's worth it probably to get to free the bishop at E7. This is just going into passive mode. I mean, black didn't castle on the king side probably because of G6 or bishop E4 and then G6. But maybe, there's still stuff going on here, but white's definitely got some serious compensation now with bishop E4.
Let's go back to the Lenderman game because some moves have been played here. It looks like knight A4 and then rook C4.
Yeah, maybe knight A4 wasn't the move. Now, if queen E8, rook E8, knight takes B6, rook C6. That's a little cheap shot. White's probably not going to fall for that. If knight B6, rook C6. So black is temporarily holding on to this pawn. I think knight d3 looked better than knight a4, but this if white can just cleanly win the b6 pawn, then I'll eat my words.
And here let's check in on Elliot Winslow.
Still. Well, that bishop on d5 is a monster. Black is better here. I mean, you can see black has some dynamic range for his pieces. It looks like black can probably play f5 at some point and unleash that other bishop as well. But it's complicated. It's still a game. It's still a game. I like black just because black seems to have more potential here.
Wow, look at this. Yeah, look at this game with Christian Clemens.
Yeah, so he did play knight b5, queen a8, rook c7. That's what I said.
Yep.
And now, I mean, the threat is knight takes f7 at the least. That would just win a pawn. Also, rook takes a7. Even knight takes a7 is a threat.
This is like so territorially superior.
So what if knight d5, rook takes a7, queen b8?
White can play rook a7 and rook takes a6. Then black can jump out with knight c5. It could get a little messy.
So, like, what's the correct continuation here?
Well, I always look for the cleanest continuation. So rook a7, this looks a little bit messy here because queen c6 or queen e8, rook a6, and then knight c5, hitting the rook on a6, and then there's this pin on the d file. Can black utilize that? And he might be able to. I mean,
look at,
it's very risky. It's a bit risky.
wasn't that a blunder right there?
But rook b7 and queen and knight c7.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, maybe black should have played queen c6.
Yeah, because
probably same thing would have happened.
Yeah, but this one's more clear cut. Rook b7, queen e8, knight c7, and then
that's just too funny.
that's like
I don't think I've ever seen anything quite so
like literally trapped on a8. Right?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And you'd think that black would have some potential on the first line, but nice game by Christian.
Back to board one.
Yeah, nice game by Christian. Really nice. Well, okay, so white's trying to play d5 here. The pawn's hanging on d4, and white's counterattacking with pawn to d5. I mean, if d takes c4, pawn to g5, and that's a whole rook that's threatened there. So black is in trouble. Would be lost, I think. Bishop takes d4. Now the rook can go to c2. Yeah, looks like white is a mistake.
And that's a threat.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. White's struggling now. And the knight at a4 suddenly looks ridiculous. Amazing. I mean, I don't know I mean, there's still a kind of an equality going on here. White.
Yeah, but now,
Yeah, I don't know about this now.
And isn't
and that's a good move too. I was
b5's a threat, no? Is that a threat?
Now black can target the d5 pawn. This has gone totally bad for black. I mean, for white.
White, yeah.
For white. Amazing.
Let's do a quick check on Jonah Bush and Carla Heredia, women grandmaster.
Wow. Just one or two inaccurate moves can make all the difference. So I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but black got away without her pawn structure getting completely destroyed. And there's pieces flying all over the board. Yeah, but it's unclear. You know, there's still a bunch of moves to be made to sort of settle things. The white king is in the middle. It's a little insecure. It could be good. It could be bad, depending on how the play goes. The white pawn center is strong, but could be weak, depending on if it gets attacked effectively. So there's still a lot of dynamic things that need to be solved in this position for me to make any kind of judgment right now. I mean, long term, white has two bishops, but I mean, it's all very vague and theoretical.
So let me go back to board one here. Nothing has changed, actually. We've played e5.
Yeah, this is Lenderman just got slipped away here. This is quite unfortunate. Some ill-considered moves on white's part. And Lenderman, who 3-4 moves ago had a passive position with his pieces passively placed.
Now look at the bishop. Bishop well placed.
And the rook on c2. Yeah. And, I mean, isn't b5 winning a piece a threat now?
That's what I was saying. I think
it's it's got serious so quickly.
I think that c4 move he played on move 26 allowed that bishop to come out from g7 and
I mean, there were some
active.
tactics that worked that didn't work out. It was White saw this idea with playing d5 and didn't look deep enough. I think the knight a4 was maybe the start of some small mistakes, and White would have had a more substantial advantage after knight d3. I think Lenderman. And by the way, an interesting thing happened on our last broadcast, and I'm going to just throw my 2 cents in because I never did, is we should not allow screen sharing by other Zoom participants during the...
Yeah, that kind of tied up our Zoom somehow.
Yeah.
Locked it up.
Sorry, Alexander. I mean, you jumped in there with that screen share, but that messed up our broadcast.
And then people in the chat like turned into a podcast because like they could hear us, but like the screen was frozen.
So who's ever you're controlling we can't allow screen sharing for people.
Right, it's if they come in on Zoom. So
right, I think you can disable their screen share.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can. You're the host, and you can disable their.
Look
screen
at this
share.
game. We haven't checked in on this game, but it's Vishva Nanuganda against Nitish Nathan.
Wow, looks like White's losing here. Two down.
Yeah, he's definitely losing. It looked a lot more interesting like a move ago, but even that probably wasn't good. So, okay. I really want to... Well, let's go back to Kyron's game here.
Okay. And yeah, White has, fantastic positional compensation for a pawn. I mean, this is what you talk about.
Look at those squares, the white
this
squares.
Is what you mean, what you talk about when you say that bishops of opposite colors are good for attack. Or, White is completely unopposed on the light squares. And this is...
And look at Black's bishop just kind of...
and if Black tries g6, which probably he has to do or something, then White's just going to rip open the game with pawn h5. It's like Black's too late to play that g6 idea, g6 and f5. That would be nice, but Black's in serious trouble here. Very serious trouble.
And Nitish Nathan won his game, so that was good. Let's go back to Elliot's game against Ashik.
Wow, Black has the passed a pawn now.
Yeah,
that's huge, and with the two bishops here, this looks like a winning position. White's going to have to try to get the queen down in there for some kind of perpetual check, but this theoretically this looks like close to a win now for Black, I would say.
And Ellie's got 10 minutes, but for him that's plenty of time to...
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. It's, but you nurse the a pawn in and tie White up a little bit more, and it should be a win. It's, it's there's still a lot of play left, but...
Let's go back to board one. And still... Pranav is in the think tank. He's down to 7 minutes.
Yeah, let's go back a few moves on this game. Just because it was I thought it very instructive.
Even more than here?
Well, let's look at this position for a second. So White plays c4. So I think White's given away quite a bit of advantage here, but still looks like he's better. In this position, with Black being kind of tied up.
So how do you play a move here where you maintain your position without weakening it, right?
Well, you got to strike fast. So I mean, to create a threat, like maybe pawn to b4, threatening pawn to b5, might be a possibility. But the problem is, that your c3 pawn is hanging. And I think white's already made a mistake here. Go back one move. Let's see, go back one move. And so here again, if knight takes b6, rook to c6. So maybe white just needs to slow down a little bit here in this position and play something like the rook over to a1 or something like that first, or something slow like that, or sort of considered.
But if you do that, can't black play e5?
Yeah, but that's danger. Oh yeah, but then bishop takes e5, bishop takes e5, d takes e5, rook e5, and then white could maybe, rook a8, threatening knight to b6 or something like that. And white's pawn structure is still intact, right?
Yeah.
But I think knight a4 was I think white should have played knight d3 and then doubled rooks on the a file, and I think that would have been more uncomfortable for black in the long run. Because this kind of trying to win the b pawn and then trying to play b3 and c4 and get none of the tactics worked, and that kind of forcing the play is can be sort of, it's a good point to learn from, that sometimes that's not the right thing to do, and you need to look a little deeper.
I want to take the opportunity right now to thank all our contributors to the Mechanics Institute via Twitch. We raised in excess of $100
Nice.
over the last few weeks, and every penny goes to support our free youth chess programming. So we're really happy about that. You're supporting mechanics, you're supporting the kids. If you're watching on Twitch and you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a donate button. As we said, every penny that we raise through that donate button goes to our youth outreach program, which is our free chess in schools program. So we bring our program, we send a coach, San Francisco Public Schools. We're doing it all virtually. So we're providing online chess after school. And and part of our free youth program also is we provide scholarships for kids looking to play USCF rated Scholastic Tournament. So if you support us through that donate button right there, every little bit counts, 5, 10, 20, 100, whatever. It all goes towards that. So thank you all who have contributed and supported the Mechanics Institute.
Yeah.
Let's
go to the go. Oh, go ahead. I was
Yeah,
going to look at the
where do you want to go?
Position.
Oh, the current?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are.
Finally made a move.
B4. Wow, he's down to 3 minutes.
Right. So, I mean, I guess it probably is forced so that b5 you can play knight c5.
But 25 minutes to 3 is...
Yeah, now Lenderman's done what he's supposed to do, and now he can try to figure out a way to sort of press the advantage home, or find the continuation that leaves him with more chances. So black can play b5, bishop takes d5, takes, rook takes, and then if white takes on e5, black can take on d5. Ultimately. And then black is left with an extra pawn. White's got this beautiful bishop. So b5, knight c5, bishop takes c5, b takes c5, rook takes c5. Okay, so Lenderman doesn't want to give up that pawn and plays f6. And leaving white with his weaknesses, right? Which are the pawn at b4 and the pawn at g5.
And I got an interesting endgame here that I'm going to switch to.
Yeah.
I think by switching this position, it doesn't give off too much. And this was the position here as I go back. This is Rui Yang against Alex. And it looks like White's in a very defensive posture here. And then we got to this where white played A4. We have the take, and then C4. So down 2 pawns at the moment. Whoops. C4, then bishop C6.
I'm watching. Yeah.
Take, and then here we are now, king A2. So she did all this to alleviate the pressure. Look, she's going to get that A3 pawn. The question I have is she going to get the A5 pawn, and then she has these passed pawns?
It looks like it's in black's favor probably, but it's close. I mean, black has a 5-3 majority on one side, but white's going to get a passed pawn, and that's going to be troublesome for black.
You're gonna have to
Quite troublesome.
pay attention to that. So
Yeah.
So this is an interesting game. We'll keep an eye on.
Yeah, this is tough.
Speaking of passed pawns,
Elliot Winslow,
exactly.
Mr. Pass Pawn.
Yeah.
Well, this is as thematic as it gets. Look at this. This is domination on the chessboard right now. I'm writing a column for the newsletter called Domination, and this is absolutely dominating as it
is
gets.
as out of the game as it could possibly be here.
Yeah.
For white, very passive queen.
So queen D1 check looks like it just wins on the spot. And then black can probably set up a mating net.
Yeah,
somehow.
Probably working that out. Let's go to board one really quick.
Wow.
Because we have, and it looks like.
Lenderman's won 2 pawns.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yikes. Brutal.
It was.
And every one of black's pieces is working. I mean, that's the black rook on the C file has just been, and the bishop on D4, even the knight at C8, which has been defending the B6 pawn, suddenly looks great, Really, really, I mean, okay, so white's going for the final thing, some counterplay based on rooks on the 7th rank or something like that. And Lenderman's job now is to simplify as fast as possible and sort of get the game over with.
Let me go over to Kyron's game with a rule. This one, Ethan.
White's trying to break through here with a rook sacrifice on G5 or something like that. If queen takes D5, queen takes C8, and white's exchange up.
Right.
Yeah, this is looking very black is on the ropes here. Still a pawn up though.
And Elliot Winslow has won his game.
Yeah.
With
That was these masters, boy, they get these master kind of positions.
They do master stuff. Huh?
Yeah, they do master stuff, and then there's no stopping them after that.
And then
Kyron's got this one in the bag, or just about here.
Let's go to the top board in the under 1800.
Wow, this game. Okay, so this has been
We're only on move 13.
Yeah, these guys are taking their time. So I'm not sure what's going on here.
I assume they're still playing.
It looks like black should be fine. Black has a nice development and everything, and still even. I think black looks like he's good here. C6, queen G5 is an aggressive looking move. I suppose if knight takes E4, then queen G6 or something like that. I don't know. These guys are making it too complicated.
Confusing us.
Yeah, it's too confusing.
Here's Theo Biasis and Rudolph Breed.
And this was a game where Black was a pawn up, and Black is still a pawn up and has improved his position. He's did 2 bishops, centralized rooks. This is definitely, you
know. Bishop G5 is a threat here for White.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I suspect Black is
F6 or something.
Okay here. Yeah. Maybe F6 or Queen E7 and a Bishop G5 F6 or something. Yeah, you got to watch out for some kind of cheapo. It's true.
Watch out for that trickery. Yeah.
Watch out for that trickery. Yeah.
Trickery. Yeah, let's go back to board 1. I think Lenderman's looking to close the show here. Provided White doesn't have trickery of their own, but he's still 2 pawns up.
Let's try to figure out the winning move here. Rook E4 wins the knight on. Looks like it snags the knight on A4. That's got to be
Rook F5 played,
and that threatens Rook F1 check. It's probably even better. Yeah.
And he's got 15 seconds on the clock. That's gonna.
Yeah. This was White. White erred in the middle game, and I think Rook B4 might have been better. You know, I mean, I'm sure that Rook B4 looked like it just won on the spot. This, of course, wins too.
Rook G1.
Well, then, then Rook takes G1. Bishop H4 is covering the queening square. Lenderman should have just gone Rook B4.
And let me just, Kyron Griffith won his game, and let's just take a look at the final countdown here.
Yeah.
Queen C7 was played by Arul.
Yeah, that's not going to help. Rook G5 check.
That's what happened, and that was it. Yeah, that was the game.
Just wins on the spot.
Nice win by Kyron, and
Black. Okay, so he's won a piece,
and he's taken the
it's all
smooth and easy
simple.
route. Yeah,
right.
The smooth and easy. Let me go back to this game here because we know Alex is not in the chat anymore. We actually know that for a fact. So this is the game here. This is Rui is White.
Wow, this is interesting. I guess Rook C3, King B6. Oh, maybe White's winning here. It's possible. Black has done something wrong with the pawns, I think. But this past pawn is so King B6.
This
I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I mean,
you're the endgame teacher.
Yeah. Well, I need more than a few seconds to look at it.
That's true. That's true.
I guess what Black could play E3.
I mean, this is not like.
This is not easy. If C7, E3, and then, oh no, maybe not E3, C7, King up, King E5.
C7.
And now King E5 is the only move, I think, because if E3, Rook E2. It's possible you could do that. No, I don't know. Rook E2 would be, and then Rook.
No.
Although Black could check around. King E5 is very strong, though. Well, okay, so Rook D8. Rook D8, E3, Queen, Rook takes, E2, Rook down.
And
maybe White's going to win that. Maybe White would win that, or it would be a draw.
And Kyron's in the chat providing commentary on this game, this very game right here. Says white needs to be careful. The e pawn with the king guiding it is very fast.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing that. Yeah, if e3, rook g3.
And actually, the e6 pawn almost acts like a cover, right?
So what happens if white plays rook d8, then e3, and then queen, and then take e2, rook c1, king d4, king c6, king e3, king d6, king d2. I mean, white, that's probably going to be a draw on king and pawn ending, maybe? Is that maybe a draw on king and pawn ending by the skin of white's teeth? King d4,
Right.
king d6.
And then after this whole mess, those other two pawns become critical, right? The H and the G for both the players relative to where their kings end
So
up.
let's see. Rook d8, e3, queen, rook takes, e2, rook c1, king d4, king c6, king d3, king d6, king d2, hitting the rook, rook a1, make a queen, take, king takes e6, king f2, king f6, king takes g2, king g6, king g6, and then white plays king g. It's a draw. King h2, king h6. All right, that's a crazy variation. It's fairly straight line though, right? Can you follow me there? We just analyzed about 12 moves deep.
And Christian's in there. I sent to put
So-
C6 earlier.
Follow me here. Rook d8,
Yeah.
pawn to e3, make a queen. Rook takes, pawn to e2, rook to c1, king to d4, king to c6.
Right.
I mean, could black play e5 there? I doubt it. Let's say king d3, king d6, king d2, rook over, make a queen, rook takes e6, king f2, king f6, king g2, king g6, king h2, king h6.
That sounded brilliant.
Did you follow me at all?
No, I lasted like the first 6 or 7, and then I just kind of like lost track. But
It's not that, it's a straight line. Whether it's a good straight line or not, I don't know. But straight line variations are good practice and good practice.
And I like Rui's. Kyron thinks your line is fine.
How about that? That's high praise.
You're vouched.
The only question is whether black could try e5 or something and delay making a queen. But then white just gets another tempo to come over to the king side.
And Rui's under 5 minutes now, so
This has been quite a game here.
tough position.
And we still could be missing something, but I don't see what else white can do than do that.
And Rudolph Breed won against Theo Biasis.
Oh wow!
Something happened.
That's
in
an
that game.
upset. Yeah, that was.
I mean, Breed's it's a good player, but that is an upset.
Theo had a what
Looked
I
like he
thought
had
was a winning
advantage.
position. Yeah. I don't know what is it.
Well, this is being worked out. Well, she's thinking about it real quick. Let's do a
Let's
quick
come back to
check-in
this,
on Jonah Bush and Carla Heredia.
Black has done well. I thought Black might have been in a more of a crisis earlier, and now things seem to be kind of getting a little better for Black.
Carla at about 5 minutes here. And then,
Still, it's tough though. I mean, like if knight g7, then d6 maybe.
So moves
And
have been
knight d5.
played here. So switching back to this.
King b7. That looks wrong. It looks like white's gonna. Okay, so white wants to take. Okay, maybe it's possible.
It looks like that still serves the function because it cuts out the.
All right, so king d4.
Because now, that pawn's promoting. So you got to calculate this out. And she spent a lot of time on this move. On
Yeah,
rook
this.
b2.
Well, let's see. King g4. Black plays king d4. Oh yeah, I see this. So if king g4, rook b6, actually might be a really good strong move, because then if e2, rook takes e6.
Right, and then you queen. Yeah.
So king g4, queen. Okay, well then now white's doing a lot better in that variation, I think. Maybe king g4, queen, rook takes, king g3, king g7, e2. It still looks like the same variation. Rook takes e2, king e2, king e6, king f2, king f6, king g2, king g6.
d4 played.
I think this is still going to end in a draw, the same draw. Although rook b6 puts another spin on it.
Yes, actually. Right?
Well, I mean, black can still play rook c7 and then
right.
king g3. Oh, no, maybe not, actually. Maybe not. And maybe white's given herself a little bit of an extra chance with this move, with rook b6. Rook b6, e2. Well, wait a minute. Rook to b6.
Well, you wouldn't do that.
And if rook takes e6, rook to e3. Rook takes, king takes, queen, queen. They both queen. White can. Yeah, it's still gonna. Then white can win maybe a pawn or two.
Queened. She queened.
I think this is a draw. King g3. I don't think it matters whether black plays king c3 or king d3 first. King g3, king g7, e2, and then rook takes e2. Or rook b1, king g2. It's going to lead to the same thing.
And we have someone in the chat thinking that black is winning this.
Well, the only thing black can do to win is play e5 and e4 maybe, and maybe black actually has time to do that. I mean, can black play e5 here? King g7, e4? I don't know. I don't think so. White king is going to come up from behind. Anyway,
and that's the other
I hope
thing.
they're not listening. The players aren't listening in on the chat.
Yeah, we know one is not. Now here's the thing: is like, can the rook come from behind and no, can't just lay annoying checks?
This doesn't help black any at all, I don't think. But I could be wrong.
King e6 there? Or?
King e6, pawn to e4, but then king d5. Black is going to get black is going to get stymied here eventually with these pawns.
And actually, that could be bad because then the king's in a better position, right? For white.
I think it's actually going to be kind of the same thing. Yeah, because black's going to play king f2 or something like that really quickly, and I mean, unless white. White's a little bit of a step ahead. I mean, black is taking a chance with this. I think playing like this when it was easy to draw the other way. E2.
I don't know. It just feels like this is without calculations, purely on feel.
That white's got something here.
My white's got something. I have no evidence, but
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't think so. I think black's got the draw in hand here with just e2. Rook B1, King D2, King E5, Queen, and then there's just both players just eliminate each other's pawns. That's what I think, unless something else is going on here.
Just because it just seems like after they eliminate each other's pawns, I feel like White's king is kind of in a better spot. But
no, I'm talking about the elimination of every pawn on the board.
playing
Okay, but if E4, then King D5, we're basically in the same boat. If E4, King D5, E4 doesn't do anything, I don't think, unless Black can play any
E4.
Hey guys.
Hey, Kyron.
E4.
Hi, Karen.
What do you think of this going on here?
King D5.
I don't know. I thought Black had an easy draw. Now I'm wondering. But E2 might be strong for like E2 Rook E2. This might be strong for Black, but maybe White can just go Rook B1 here.
Oh, I see what Black is trying to do. Put the white.
Because the king on E4 is actually worse than
right.
the king on E2 because it can't attack the pawns as quickly.
Right.
There we go.
So Rook B1.
Oh, wow.
But then the same thing happens. King C2, right? Hits the rook first. Oh, but then Rook A1.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no good. So King D2, King E4.
I think it's still a draw, but it's this is tricky. There's also like King E3, but I don't think it really achieves much.
Wow. What do you think? Yeah, we were looking at some clear draw. Black has muddied the waters a little bit with this stuff.
Yeah. This move seems wrong to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, King F4, sure. Because King C2, you just take E3 now, actually, and you're winning, I think.
Yeah. So what about King D2? And then White can play H4 or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's like, is the Black King behind the pawns really better or not? I don't know. If White wants to draw, you can always just play Rook B2 check and check forever.
Right.
I mean, Rook B3 is the big threat right here, right?
Yeah. Although I guess King D2 and Queen, and you get a similar position.
Oh, yeah.
So Black's just playing for the loss with these last moves. That's what it looks
Very
like.
possibly. Very possibly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting.
Okay, I think King D2 is probably necessary here.
And then King F3?
All right, so King D2, King F3, Queen, take, King E3,
King F1.
King F1, King F3.
Yeah.
See, these are not easy to calculate.
Yeah, they're not easy at all. You know who's really good at these? At these King and 2 plus King and 2 and the stuff like this, and King and 2 versus King and 1. Nick DeFermian seems to have studied these out of, like, he knows them really well. He made a special study of this, I think. And
I have to think it's a draw because White can't really go attack the Black pawns without losing his own.
Yeah,
and
that was my intuition. But
yeah, here we go.
What if Black makes a knight though?
Oh, that's a good question. But maybe G4 first is more accurate. Just play it here because there's King F3 is kind of a waste of a move.
Excellent point. Or H4.
Yeah.
G4 ends up being played.
Yep. Nice.
So Queen takes, King taking. Black is probably worse, right? I mean, you could imagine something happening like H4 and H5, and then Black getting into trouble.
And Rui at 1:25, but
so Black is playing for the loss. That's what it looks like to me.
That was a nice little move there, G4, because I mean we didn't even talk about that.
No, Kyron mentioned
Well,
it.
he mentioned G4. I thought he meant H4. All right,
I'm
so it's
the
played.
one that-
It's played. Promote.
Now, this should be in some endgame book, but looks like white's better. I mean, to me, it looks like white is considerably better. And if black can draw, it'll be by the skin of his teeth, right?
Isn't that funny how like black's completely behind the...
Well, let's see. It might make a difference if, well, what happened? H4, King H2? It's got to be a draw, I guess.
Yeah, I think black's strong there. I think King G3 is probably the best try.
Oh, I see, right. Funny how
but then maybe just King F1 there. Just
Right.
come around the side. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, since white can't really break through head on, it doesn't seem like it's enough to me.
Yeah. I'm looking, what I'm looking at for some ideal situation where white can play H5 and then come around. So what
King
happens?
H2, G5 is the idea, maybe? Take, King H3.
G5, H5, G5, H5, and black is winning. Maybe.
G5, H5, before. It's dangerous.
King H3, King E5, King H4, King F6. Yikes. Oh. Yikes.
Yeah,
Did white
so
miss
King F4,
something
yeah.
there?
Yeah, so you can't... Yeah, now white's in trouble.
Yeah, white should have played G5 maybe.
Maybe H5 here is not...
They've agreed to a draw.
Really? H5.
Takes it. I mean, white can play H5, right? And if takes, white just keeps black and win the H pawn. White keeps black imprisoned, right?
It's even.
Well, no, so H5 G5 is critical. H5 G5,
King
King F5,
F5?
King H4, King G6, King G4, King H6, King H4, King G6, G4. Oh, yeah, sorry, your king has to go to... Black's king has to go to F4. It seems like the queen at the same time.
Yeah,
Question
what an
mark?
ending. The analysis did show that it was equal right here.
Yeah, it looks like the queen at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
All right.
I mean, that's not trivial, not at all.
Interesting
no.
game. And Kyron, if you want to go get a rest and get a drink of something, power up, because I think you're gonna have a tough round.
That's what I'm going to do.
So
Yeah, sounds good.
Good luck on the next round,
Thanks,
and we'll
guys.
be following your game. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, you played a nice game.
Thanks.
We were following your game as well. So, all right, everyone. I think all the games are done. I'll wait for Judith to confirm, and in a few minutes, we should have the pairings for round 4. And Gulko fan in the chat. And actually,
Hey.
what I gotta do is
Hi, everybody. I'm
gotta-
going to take a little
Yeah,
break.
go ahead and take a break.
Or should you want to go first?
Actually, you talk while I pull something up because I have to.
Yeah.
I have to like click around. Messed up.
Mike, you came back. Congratulations.
And he did win.
Yeah, that's right.
Oops. All right.
Hey, Mike, you're in the chat. You should come and audit my World Championship class. I'm studying we're taking a look at the all the Lasker World Championship matches, except for his loss to Capablanca. It's on Thursday at 6:30 to 8
There we go.
Pacific time. And what you need to do is you need to register on the website. It's free, and then I'll send you the link. Yeah.
All right. I'm good, Paul, if you want to take off.
Okay, I'll be back.
All right. So round 3 is in the books. And Michael Walder's asking no more quads. There will be more quads coming. I have to look to see The quads that we just held went really well. I think we had about 16 players. So we'll definitely run those again. Yep, and Judith's confirmed that. So we love the Thursday quads. And Judith's got the pairings ready to go. She's just like magic on there. So let's take a look. So we should have a dynamite fourth round after that result. And we have it. Almost. We're on the verge of getting the standings and the pairings for the round. I'll actually put the link in the chat right now. There you go. So anybody watching, you just click on there. You can see the standings and the pairings as well. Elliot Winslow, Kyron Griffith, and Alexander Lenderman won their game. So they are 3-0. Rui and Alex drew their game, which was a fantastic game to watch. But they are now at 2.5. So with the three players, we're wondering who's gonna play Lenderman. It's gonna be Elliot or Kyron, and we'll keep an eye on that. I'm thinking it'll be Elliot, but we'll wait for the official. I'm thinking Elliot because of the color allocation. But thank you, everyone, for sticking with this. We still got another 12 minutes before the round starts. Starts at 8 p.m. If you weren't here at the beginning of the broadcast, the Mechanics Institute is organizing the 2020 U.S. Cadet. And that will be September 25th through 27th. It will be on chess.com, and we will be streaming the entire event. It's 8-player round robin invitational. It's the top under 16-year-olds in the country. Christopher Yu will be playing. A lot of top players, so we're really excited about that. That will be next Friday night, or 4 p.m. will be round 1. And then we're going to have 3 rounds a day after that, G70 plus 10. So we're really excited about that. Another thing we're pretty excited about as we're waiting for the pairings and the standings is our Scholastic Tournament. We have a weekly Scholastic Tournament, and sometimes we have it on Saturdays, sometimes on Sundays. We had 37 players, 37 kids playing on Sunday, so that was really cool to see. And then we also have a virtual chess club on Sundays with Coach Andy Schley. So a lot of the kids that played the tournament ended up going to the club right after. And it was just a whole lot of fun. So there were a lot of kids in the club. So Scholastic Chess, alive and well at the Mechanics Institute. It's a lot of fun to see. Because we know a lot of schools are kind of struggling with the enrichment programming and how to do it, and it's affected a lot of enrichment providers and and chess providers too. So it's really nice that they're able to continue that in some way, if not through the school, through programs like the Mechanics Institute, where we have our own clubs and classes and our events, especially our tournaments and events. Because we run free daily events for kids, and then we have the USCF rated on the weekend. And the standings have been updated, and we also have so on board 1, it'll be white Alexander Lenderman against Kyron Griffith, who will have black. And on board 2, Elliot Winslow is white against Rui Yang Yan. And then Alex Chin against Pranav Sairam. And another tough matchup. Carla Heredia, who won her game against Jonah Bush, she is white against Nicholas Wang, who's a tough 1900 player. Board 5, Felix German against Ethan Boldy, and Nitish Nathan against Michael Walder, among the other matchups there. So we're going to have a fascinating board 1 with Lenderman and Kyron Griffith. On board 1 in the under 1800 is going to be Pranav Pradeep against Erica Malikin. So it looks like Erica won her game last round. and she's playing Pradeep on board 1. And so the winner of that, Pranav's with 3 points, Erica with 2.5. There's another player with 2.5. So if Erica can win this game, she will at least have a share of first going into the final 2 rounds next week. So we'll be following that game. Also, I think Erica is streaming tonight, so we'll definitely follow her 4th round game. So interesting, exciting matchups, and we will definitely be all over board 1 with Lenderman and Griffith. And I think they've played each other like a few times from Kyron's time at Marshall Chess Club and New York. So, and I'm sure Kyron is prepped up for the possibility. I'm sure he thought he would be playing him before the end of this tournament. So that's exciting. Exciting final 3 rounds. Very much looking forward to it. And just want to give special shout out, special props to Judith Stare, who's getting all the results, putting them into Swisssys, uploading the standings to the website and the pairings. And then at 8 o'clock sharp, she will get the game started. So thank you, Judith, for all you do on Tuesday nights. It is very much appreciated by everyone in the mechanics community. So 7 minutes before the start of the next round. And we had a conversation today, Judith and I, with the head librarian at the Mechanics Institute, Deb Hunt, and the archivist, Diane. And we were just talking how we're thinking of shooting kind of like a promo video, which showcases our library chess collection, because we have one of the largest chess collections in North America inside the Mechanics Institute library. And for those of you that don't know, the Mechanics Institute, it's a 9-story building. The 4th floor is the chess room, magnificent chess room. The 2nd and 3rd floor is a membership library, so it is a full-on, research library, like you would see, any nice library. And a lot of writers and historians that do their research there. Writers, they do their writing there, and we have all the resources of a library. And within that library, we have a huge chess collection. We thought about doing a video just showcasing the library and what we have in the chess collection, which even now, even though the Institute is closed to the public in terms of going in and using the library, people can still check out books, because if you're a member, you can still order books and then come to the library and pick them up through like a pickup service. So and we just want to let members know that you do have that option, so you still have the resources of the library to check out books on chess or whatever, if you want to look at a novel. So if you're a Mechanics Institute member, you should join the Institute, because if you're not a member, it's relatively cheap to join the Institute. It's like, it's less than $200 for the whole year. And you have borrowing privileges. When the Institute reopens, you come in and use the Institute. But we also have a lot of online resources, and you can even download some audiobooks. As a member, you can do that. So a lot of benefits to being a Mechanics Institute member. And you also save on our events. So if you frequently play our tournaments, easily the membership pays for itself. So if you are interested in that, you should consider becoming a member of the Mechanics Institute, because it supports us, the Institute as a whole. But you support yourself because you also get discounts over the course of a year, and especially if you play a lot of our events. So in the chat, if you want to join the Mechanics Institute, there it is. Go check it out. And join the club officially by joining the Mechanics Institute. We still don't have any kind of update of when we will open. So, we don't make decisions in the chess club independently of the Institute as a whole. The Institute speaks with one voice, but you need, and Max is in the chat, of course. But the opening of the Institute probably will not be for quite a while, and that doesn't even address being able to play games over the board. Although we have had discussions on how that could be done at the Institute with spacing and what have you, but we're not even there at that point. So for the time being, we're just going to have to continue doing the virtual club. Hey, Paul. Paul is back, getting the ears on.
Yeah.
We are about 2-3 minutes from starting round 4. It's going to be Lenderman and Kyron on board 1.
Wow.
And then it's going to be Elliot and Rui on board 2. So,
wow. Now who's board 3?
Board 3 is Alex Chin, who we just saw draw, and Pranav Siram. And then Carla Heredia and Nicholas Wang.
So Carla won her game, huh?
She did. And then Felix German and Ethan Boldy.
Wow, disgusting pairings you guys make.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
somebody said.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, tough pairings. And then Erica Malikin is playing on board 1 in the under 1800 against the only 3 out of 3 player. So
Go, Erica.
yeah, she can definitely do it. And she said she was streaming tonight, so
Is that right?
hopefully she can walk and chew gum at the same time.
I can't do that.
Because it is tough to stream and play.
So Carla Heredia is Sebi Dacking's coach.
Perfect. She's a fantastic coach.
Nice.
And she takes her coaching like very, very seriously too. So it's
We have to look at Carl, pay some attention to Carla's game.
Yeah, and,
So,
and that's going to be a tough match with Nicholas Wang.
And who's Elliot playing?
Rui.
Oh, that's okay.
Elliot.
So we have 2 great
Yeah, it's gonna be a
matches.
fantastic matchup. Yeah, Rui and Elliot on board 2. So.
That's guaranteed fireworks.
Yeah, we get a lot of action. And I'm going to have my dog barking over here because someone's at the door. So the game should be starting any minute now. And I actually have access to all the games now because I got the spreadsheet where they input all the games. All the players are online. The games have not yet started.
Good luck, Michael. Yeah, we can hear it.
Yeah, I know. Everybody listening to what's going on over there. Oh, let me X out of these games here.
Sebi Dacking wants the link in the chat, but I'm not sure that we have a link to the games.
And actually, we do actually. I have it.
Is that right?
And I can put it. No, oh, wait a minute. That's a little. I can do it actually. Let me. I will put it up actually. When it starts, I can put it up.
Okay.
And I'm looking. It shows the game's players online, so they haven't started yet. And I think she is firing up the engines now, so to speak. It's funny because we use a Google Doc, and so I can see when she like fires them up. It's actually fun to see how she does it. Actually.
So this was the end of the Winslow Uzaman game, huh?
Yeah, this was the
Mate.
Yeah, it's made on the board.
Yeah. Ideal game for black.
All right, I think we have started. So let me find Find the games. Here we
Somebody
go.
says, is there another tournament that's rapid? Why is there another tournament that's rapid? Says.
Oh, that's yeah, let me close that out. It's up there. Wait, hold on.
Anyway, we have Lenderman versus Griffith. Great opportunity for Kyron, for the home team, for home.
Homegrown everything.
Homegrown everything. And I'm sure Kyron has done some preparing for Alexander
Oh,
Lenderman.
it's absolutely no doubt about it. And let me just pull up games here.
A King's Gambit by Usman on board 3 or 4 or whatever.
Well, expect.
And I actually know a little bit of chess trivia. The last King's Gambit ever played in a world championship match was,
in a world championship.
yeah. Does anybody know the answer to that?
Actually,
That'll be our
leave that out.
trivia
Leave that out.
question.
Yeah, leave that out.
I'm not going to tell anybody that.
And that was part of your research, right? And
It was part of my research. What was the last world championship match in which there was a King's Gambit?
Oops, I just messed that up.
What was the last game of the...
What was it? What am I doing?
I don't know. Gold looks good there.
Always nice live TV.
Did
right?
Kasparov play? Did Kasparov play a King's Gambit in a World Championship match against Anand? If he did, then that's possible. And Alexei, no, Fischer never played it in a World Championship match, or Spassky never played against Fischer.
Here we go.
Wow. Okay, so we have a dynamic kind of King's Indian here.
King's Indian. Yeah.
And
So we'll fixate on sort of the top boards here, in the under 1800 and the top
I
section.
always like these kind of positions for black, and then I started noticing that, you know, if white knows how to break through on the queen side, it can do it, and then you're in trouble when you're black. So I worry about pressure down the D file and stuff like that.
And someone's asking if there is no rapid tourney going on, so I actually don't know what tournament you're looking at.
This is in a way a rapid tournament, right?
Technically, no, because it should be. It has to be
20.
under 30.
Oh, under 30. Okay. That's interesting. So this is a regular time control?
It's considered a regular, yeah.
Interesting.
Because even the increment adds to the definition of how long, but neither here nor there. But
So Kyron has some issues about here how to get his pieces out of the box here. Bishop e6 is a good start. He wants to play knight d7. But the question is, okay, so what happens when white plays pawn to b5? Now, if you play knight d7, actually you could play knight d7, because if white can't take twice on c6 because the bishop takes c3. So black might be able to get the knight out. Interesting.
let me peek on board 2 with Rui and Elliot.
Oh, we have,
And while you're doing that, I will be right back. Let's get something to drink real quick. So you're in charge of Elliot and Rui.
well, we've got a Queen's Gambit here, folks. And Elliot, taking his time here, plays all kinds of stuff. I think Rui plays maybe the Slav. I think I've seen that. Elliot can play anything. He's an ambidextrous chess player. There's a lot of theory. Plays e4 or d4. And Elliot and I go way back. So I'm actually interested. Did Kasparov, I'm not that familiar yet with the Kasparov and Anand match. matches. Did Kasparov play a King's End Gambit? I can't imagine that he did. And I'm not exactly positive when the last King's Gambit, but I have a good guess of when the last King's Gambit was played in a World Championship match. Maybe it's still yet to be played. Maybe there'll be one in the next. Carlsen will trot it out against.
Who won?
Nepomniachtchi or something.
Talking about the King's.
Oh, the King's Gambit, yeah.
King's Gambit, still in that. Let me flip back to board one.
Okay. This is Ragozin or whatever you call it. Quite a game here. White's got ideas like knight a5. Black still has a little bit of.
What's the idea of Black's knight on h5?
Well, Black played it so that he could play f5, and now he's played f5, and then he's played f4, and now. Yeah, I think a problem for Black is no secure outposts for the knights yet. And, Black wants a tactic like knight g3 or something like that, and certainly needs to develop the queen side. And Lenderman's playing quickly, but they both are, and seem to, they both seem to be in a situation that they want to be in.
Another game will follow later,
Yeah.
but I noticed the pairing here is Ashik Uzman and Christian Clemens.
Which is
it's sort of like a mechanics classic match. It's like they're so evenly matched.
Yeah, they could be. Ashik is a very talented player.
Let's take a peek on board one of the under 1800. Pranav Pradeep is the only player with 3 out of 3, and Erica Malikin is black. It's like a Rui Lopez. Rui Lopez.
Looks like it's pretty evenly balanced position here.
Early on.
Yeah, too early to say.
And then this is Alex Chin, who just had that amazing draw with Rui is against Pranav Saram from Petrov.
Petrov, okay. Well, it's still too early to say what's going on here. Yeah.
It is a game.
Both players are still getting their pieces out of the box.
So let's go back to board one.
It is possible to speculate endlessly about.
So since you brought up speculating endlessly,
right?
What is the plan here then for Black?
Well, I mean, I want to develop and then maybe play g5, g4. But Black's got a little development issue here. Knight g7, pawn to c5, and then what are you going to do, because you can't take on c5 because of queen takes g7. Actually, that's possible. Maybe you could, and then queen g7, bishop takes c3. So Black needs to get developed here, and that's a bit of an issue. And then this moves like knight a5. It's a little irritating. There's some. White seems to have some pressure here, and Black's got this kind of aggressive-looking setup on the king side, but where's the mate? And it's not there yet. So Black has to look to develop, and. I like White here. I got to say I like Lenderman's game here. Yeah. Seems to have some pressure on Black.
Let's take a little
Very
peek.
dynamic position, though.
Let's take a peek at Elliot's game here.
Elliot who?
No, actually, speaking of which, let me go off book here.
We should look at Michael Walters' game and also Carla Heredia's game.
That is exactly what I am looking for right here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, we want to look at Michael Walters' game, says Alexi.
Well, what Alexi asks for, she's going to get, and we're going to give it to her right here. Where is the Flights of Fancy? Here we go.
And who's he
Boom.
playing?
Is playing Nitish Nathan.
Okay.
He's like a 1900 player.
All right.
She's looking to support her co-authors.
Definitely like Black's game here. This is like a Kale system gone wrong or something like that. Or whatever.
It says Old Benoni.
Huh. Old Benoni. Okay.
I don't know, an Old Benoni.
Some kind of queen pawn game.
Yep.
Where White's. Yeah. Black has a very nice game here. But, these.
Yeah, it was
positions are,
D4, C5, Bishop F4. Was how it started.
Oh, okay.
Take a look at this in Erica's game. She's kind of like.
Oh, this is great for Black.
She's got like a pretty good attack going here.
Not only that, but the blockade on the dark squares. That's the important thing here. Black has this beautiful dark square blockade. So, White's positionally in trouble here.
Kind of stuck.
I don't know if there's a mate, but Black should, this is like out of Nimzovich or something like that.
All right,
Black can even play moves like G5 here,
and knowing Erica, she's gonna go for the most aggressive route. Yeah.
Right.
So keep an eye on that.
Don't compromise your position too much, Erica.
And back to board one. And Lenderman has played B5.
So knight A6, B5.
Yep.
So Black's going to play knight C7, I suppose. Knight B4, I guess, is a possibility, with the idea of taking on C3 and then taking on A2. That's a little wild looking. I'm guessing Black's going to play knight C7. Is there an issue with that move?
Knight C7, B6? Is that something that can happen? No?
Well, I think Black would be okay, just take on B6 and then play knight E6. I'm thinking more like knight C7, maybe knight A5, or takes on C6 and then knight A5 or something like that. I think B6 is harmless. But something more like knight A5, maybe. It's very sharp game. Very sharp game. I mean, but if you're going to beat these grandmasters, you have to take the fight to them and create imbalances. And then continue to do it throughout the whole game.
And not make a mistake along the way.
And try not to blow it, yeah.
Let's check on Elliot's
Good
game.
advice, huh? Yeah. Yeah, so Black ended up putting the knight on C6, which is interesting, and it's transposed into some kind of Chigorin setup, like a Queen's Gambit with the knight on C6. And Chigorin, I got a chance to look at a bunch of his games, and so he's very fond of these odd defenses to the Queen's Gambit and involving pieces instead of pawns in the center, like moves like knight c6 and bishop g4 and bishop f5 and stuff like that. So he was really one of the originators of piece play in the center. Not quite a hyper-modern player, but sort of heading in that direction. I mean, Black's threatening knight d4, obviously, and if queen b4, knight c2 checks. So White's probably be prudent to move the queen back, but then maybe shouldn't have played queen a4 in the first place. I'm not sure what's going on here. Looks like it's an interesting game.
I was just reading on U.S. Chess the other day that the 2020 North American Junior Championships are going to go on as planned live at the Charlotte Chess Center. At least that's what it said. So curious how, but it's not until December. So
that's another chess club fronting a tournament.
Yeah, and this is, I think this is like considered a FIDE event.
Well, that's an interesting thing. I think organizers have to sort of, and they're late in the game. You guys were all chess organizers are late in the game with just streamers have been on this chess thing for a long time.
Yeah, and
the organizers need to get in on the action there. You know?
It's funny because it's almost like the players have sort of taken a little more control of the chess. I mean, look at Magnus Carlsen, basically organizing his own events and getting top dollar sponsorship and big prize pools and a lot of broadcast coverage through those events. And
right.
And I think organizers largely, clubs organizers have been kind of slow.
Very slow. We've been involved in it for a long time.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like we had been involved in it, so it was easy for us to make that transition when we knew we were going to be online. I mean, we knew we could continue the broadcast and do that, but if you weren't doing it already or you weren't, reactive to it, you missed the boat. And I see a lot of organizers that have missed the boat. And, to come in now, it's almost as if it's kind of late because it takes a while to kind of learn and the hiccups and kind of build that player base and build the trust with the community and everything. So it's really tough. And but Charlotte Chess Center, I mean, they've been on it also from the beginning.
Right.
So, but I mean, that's why they're doing an event like this because, they've been on it and, everybody trusts them to, put on a good event. Even if it is live. So curious to watch that because it is live, how they end up doing it and, with all the distancing and,
it's interesting. It's like a little, everybody's got their niche or whatever you call it, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Little spot on the internet. And,
I think
so the 95 move came in.
I think Judith may be joining us in a little bit.
Cool.
Which after she pairs the last round of the evening, it's sort of she's free to actually come on. We still have a helpline. We have a Zoom helpline. So if a player, something happens in their game or they need to discuss something privately, they could just like call in that Zoom number and then Judith picks up. But she can monitor that while, jumping on the broadcast or something. So we'll look to see if she can hang out with us for the remainder. What do you think of this?
I think, I'm not sure, Kyron apparently felt it was necessary to give up the B7 pawn.
Right, he just gave that up.
And we'll have to take his word for it now, but also does G6 is possibly not really because of Rook D8, but even then, Bishop C5, I'm not sure what's going on here. Either Kyron is starting to fall apart or he had to do this. Knight E6, maybe, and if Knight G6, Knight G4, Black gets a strong knight, but he's given up 2 pawns in the exchange. I don't know. Something's gone wrong here for Black. I think White's play is maybe more figured out or something here.
Let me check in on this just because I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. This is Ashik Uzaman, who's White against Christian Clemens.
I think White looks like he's sort of getting pushed around here.
Yeah, Christian's actually up
2
2 pawns. Yeah, 2 pawns.
And Ashik is Christian's really been playing some good chess lately. His moves are coming more quickly, the good moves, and White might gain a pawn back here with the threat of knight g5 is probably enough for white to be able to win a pawn back. Something's going to be hanging at b7. So black could play like queen f6, and if knight g5, queen g7, or knight e4, queen g7. I mean, I think black is going to be okay defensively, but he's going to lose a pawn back. But still, black should be good here. Solid position. Thanks everybody for watching.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, everyone that's watching along.
How's Elliot doing?
Let's take a look at that game. There we go.
Okay, things have really crystallized, and white's got a positional advantage here.
And what do you think that?
Better bishop, more space to expand on the queen side, like with pawn to b4, maybe some pressure on the c file. Black is a little worse here for sure. And I played that quickly, but queen b3 with the idea of taking on b7 was possible.
Look at this with like going back a couple of moves here, right? So white took on b7,
right,
and then Kyron played knight g3.
Well, white can't take it, but white doesn't need to take it, right? Because
play bishop d3.
Yeah, because if takes, and then black's got queen h4 with all kinds of nebulous threats, but white can leave the knight on g3. And now, I guess, coming up is knight e6. And I'm trying to come into d4 or something. I mean, black needs tactics here. That's what's going on. If knight d5, queen h4, and maybe black can play knight, somehow find a sacrifice in the position to break through over there. But so far, things look good for Lenderman. He's won a pawn. He's accomplished his goals. Black doesn't have a mate, for the foreseeable future. And, it's going Lenderman's way so far.
Hey.
Right, Judith?
Hi, guys. I could not hear what you said because I actually had to mute my computer so that we don't echo. So.
I was talking about Lenderman's game, and I was trying to get your opinion.
Oh, yeah, you definitely need my opinion. I get it. Let's see. Yeah, it seems Lenderman has no problem winning this game, right?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, Kyron's going to give him some problems, but
okay, well, that's good.
But I like the courage.
You just came right out and said it. Yeah.
Well, I have the advantage of getting
some expert help. Right?
Some expert help, yeah, exactly. So, how are you guys doing?
Good. It's actually been kind of fun. And Alexei says hi in the chat.
Yeah, hi Alexei, I see it. Yeah, no, it's one of the smoothest starts ever. Like both round 3 and round 4, everyone was in place, everyone was online. Game started first try. It's amazing. I'm gonna actually send out a big thank you for the players because it does make a lot of difference.
Well, it's not a lot of work in your part too. It helps to have that be easier. With everybody doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and when they are not online, then I have to start figuring out whether they are just not in live or not online or coming. Then I have to look up their phone numbers and try to track them down. So yeah, and it's all fine if it's a small tournament. This is actually a mid-sized tournament for an online tournament, so it does get a little bit of work. So anyway, but today was really, really good. So kudos to everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone. They're learning the drill.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well-behaved chess players.
Relatively well behaved.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
and this is like what, the third TNM, right?
Yeah, the online
So
doing it in this fashion. Yeah.
yeah, so it's actually getting
You know who
used
said
to, right?
today? Who texted me today that he's going to play the next TNM in October?
Who?
Is International Master Prasanna Rao.
Oh,
Nice.
wow. Now that guy's a very strong player.
Yeah, so he said he
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
play the next TNM.
We got to get Lenderman back in for that
And
one.
from UT
Yeah.
Dallas, from UT
Yes,
Dallas.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I'm
Yep.
very impressed by that guy. I think he's got, what, 3 Grandmaster norms or something like that?
Yeah, he just needs the
Yeah.
rating.
Yeah.
He just needs the rating.
What a strong
It's
player.
more than that, actually. I think it's 4 or 5 or something.
Yeah.
They only need the rating. He actually did an amazing job covering. He was a lecturer during one of the summer camps for like the adult class,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, he just did a phenomenal job.
yeah, and the thing is that we're trying to get some stronger tournaments, or we were trying to get some stronger tournaments at the mechanics, right? But he needs much stronger players to get the rating up, right? So it's not like he can just come down and play a few games at our TNMs or something like that. So.
And he doesn't even need the norms. He needs just
rating.
just straight out rating.
Yeah.
Let's check in on Erica's game because I feel like something went a little wrong for her because it looks like she's the one now under attack.
I still like Black's game. If Black's got White can play pawn to f4. She's lost the grip on the dark squares,
Right.
and that's been the problem here. And White's going to try to get out with the.
But that was going to happen anyway, though, right? Because it had to defend G7.
Yeah, but I mean earlier, Black had a.
Right.
I see that
Black had this
lost
iron
his-
grip. Yeah.
So let's.
On the dark squares, but now it's anybody's game.
So here's Ashik and Christian Clemens here.
Wow, Ashik has come back from.
Came back because he was like
Super came back.
a lot of trouble.
Wow. Uh-oh. With that
And
active
Ashik's
rook.
son won his game, so at least Iron won his game.
I don't know what happened here. Christian has gotten himself into a little bit of trouble here.
And as Judah was saying, a rule Viswanathan and Rudolph Breet decided to blitz their game out, and a rule came out on top, so he finished his game early.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm going to switch back to the
This
board
is a
one
tough
here.
little game here.
And Kyron's thinking deep here. He's spending a lot of time here on this next move.
Well, A5 was like an attempt maybe to trap the knight at B7. I think Kyron's kind of lashing out and hoping that something sticks. And knight E2 played pretty quickly by Lenderman just has like practicality sort of written all over it. The knight can take at A5 now. And that's a boon for the white defending. Also, it puts pressure on that knight on G3. And so it's got, like I said, white took a pawn on the B7 square and now is just kind of like very practical looking move, that knight to E2. Very, very practical look to it. And Kyron seems to be in a little trouble here with, having lost a pawn. There he goes. He's angling for that knight. So I suppose on knight A5 he can double rooks on the A file or something.
Yeah.
And white's got pawn to B6 too. Something just, white could play maybe knight takes C5 and then pawn to B6. Just Black's play looks artificial, and I feel for Kyron here. He's trying to find something.
Actually, knight c5 and doesn't work, I suppose, because the queen will be defending the b6 square. But yeah, this is a little tough for Kyron here. And the knight's really hanging now on g3 as well. I mean, I know his knight's hanging on b7, but white can also take the knight on g3 now with impunity. So, and again, being practically minded, okay, so he takes on a5 and instead. So rook a8, pawn to b6, rook a5, pawn takes c7.
Now, yeah, but would he take now e7? Knight take e7 and then double up the... Yeah, that's what happened, actually.
Okay.
And then double up.
Yeah, he's got to get that knight out of hanging there.
You gotta love, like, Lenderman is so popular that people are coming to just see his game.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
He's a
we are
very good
getting
player.
this chat is asking, oh, which tournament is this? They don't even put the tournament name and things like that. So it's always fun to when we have a GM.
His followers, yeah.
Yeah, his followers. So.
And as I was saying at the beginning,
great player.
He'll be playing in the U.S. Closed Championship.
Yeah,
pretty soon.
And we are very happy to be.
And we're gonna root for him. We're gonna root for him.
Yeah, root for him, and we are also very proud that St. Louis Chess Club is one of the other chess club is the other chess club who's running online national tournaments, and we will be running the cadets. So we are very excited. So a week and a half, we're gonna be busy over the weekend. So.
Yeah, very big. I've been plugging that like crazy earlier. Yeah, and the other thing too is our very own Patrick Wolf will be playing the senior championship, the U.S. senior championship.
Yeah, so, is he getting excited and prepping for it?
He's been excited for a couple of weeks already. So
you know what? That senior tournament is like
Larry Christensen's also playing
at first,
and Shabalov, right?
Yeah, Shabalov.
Yeah. I've noticed about these senior tournaments. At first, one player will play well, and then he won't play so well.
The stamina is an issue.
They all suffer from it. So I mean,
that's the thing. Is like everyone's in the same boat. They're all gonna get tired. They're all gonna get
yeah. So it'll be funny.
And they all know it, right? It's not
This is such a nice position for white because I think no matter what choice he makes, he's going to be better. I mean, with that pawn at b5, that pass pawn at b5 is just going to white's various choices, like just knight b3, rook a2, rook c2, and then white's just got this beautiful pawn at b5 that will always be threatening to go into b6, and then there's knight c6. So Lenderman is trying to take the bishop on e5 and then get down the d file, and the knight is more actively placed, certainly on c6, where it will help the pawn move in as well. I qualify as a senior, I think. I'm 60, but I'm not going to get invited to the U.S. senior. That's
but you know what? Like the rating, I don't think you're that far off. To be honest, I hate to say that, right? But like
I am pretty far off.
No, you're not actually.
Yeah.
Because I saw.
So let's work on your rating.
Yeah, you got to get your rating up.
I want to play for the U.S. Junior in the U.S. Junior Championship again.
You're a former U.S. Junior champion, no?
Yeah, I tied for first with Fedorowicz in Sarawon in 1978.
The lowest rated player.
But
I don't know if this is FIDE.
They're over 2560, and that's out of my class.
No. The lowest rated player in the senior is 2298. Now I don't know if that's FIDE or USCF, but that's the lowest.
Probably FIDE.
What's your FIDE?
2345 or something
man,
like
you should
that.
be in here.
No.
Did you secretly decline it?
No, I
We
was
should
never
lobby.
considered.
I'll lobby.
We should lobby for
Alexi
the wild
is
card.
telling the truth here. I'm nowhere near. All
You know-
those players are grandmasters and incredibly strong players.
You know what we're gonna do is we're gonna bid to organize the U.S. Senior, and we're gonna give you the wild card so that you can play.
So
I
Alex
would
is
take the
telling us
tournament
that.
seriously. I would take the tournament seriously, but I mean, I'm playing a bunch of grandmasters like Christensen,
Yeah.
who I beat once back in the day, but still.
Oh
And Alex say,
that's right.
You should try to get Nick in there. That's who you should try to get in. And I'll bet you Nick has had an invitation or two and not.
Oh, is that right?
And not, Nick is the guy to play in that tournament.
But he played our Rapid Championship last year.
Yeah.
Who did?
Nick, which was fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Watch him like in the flesh
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah. No,
All right.
Nick should be the guy in for sure. And
Checking on Rui's game against Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot's applying the old classic pressure here. And now also she's a little bit weakened on the light squares on the king side too. Nothing serious at the moment, but Elliot's got a little bit of pressure here.
Yeah, something went wrong. I'm not even going to go to that game because the ending is miserable. But something happened there. Let's just show it. Yeah, that's not what we envisioned.
No,
much earlier on.
No.
So we're gonna flip over to Michael Walder, do a quick check-in because this looks interesting.
Wow. Okay, so this is black is just all over white here. In fact, this is almost resignable here.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Michael Walder
positional domination, right?
Yeah, another domination.
I mean, is it knight c4 coming?
Forcing the king back to e1.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, and then bishop h3 wins at least the exchange. Yeah. So black's that's the simplest win. Knight c4 check, king e1.
And Alexa is rooting
bishop
for
h3.
All right, so let's.
Michael goes this way. Taking on f2 is good.
There have been moves played here. So going back to board one. She loves her co-authors. So
yeah, speaking of your co-authors, Reka is really, really tired. She has like 5, 6 AP classes. So I'm even thinking of stepping. That's all. And SAT and LSAT and things like that.
LSAT? Not the law.
Yes. Yeah,
the law school? She's taking the law school exam?
No. Yeah,
high school?
Something like that. Yeah.
Jeez.
So
I have no idea.
Another genius in the family.
It's not another. She's the only one.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Anyway, so
what I've heard, a doctorate in chemistry is about as tough as it gets, Judith.
No, what's the secret? I have the secret. If you are like 6 months pregnant when you're defending,
she's told me this before.
So when you're really pregnant, you go and defending, they're gonna pass you because
the sympathy card.
Yeah, sympathy card. So
that's interesting.
She's actually told me the story like that, exactly like that.
So they passed you just out of sympathy.
Yeah, just out of sympathy. Anyway, okay, guys, I think I have to go. There are games that are finishing up, and I want to input the games. So make sure that
thanks for
I
hanging
can
out.
update.
Yeah.
Because in order for me to update it really fast, I'm not waiting until the last game finish. I constantly update the results.
For the results.
And so, yeah, and the players are actually very good updating the results, but I'm also double checking everyone. It's a good double verification way. So I appreciate the players and everything. So hopefully it's all good. But yeah, I love the broadcast, and I'll try to send in. Who should I send in for a guest? for you guys.
You want to send Michael Walder? I mean, he looks like he's about to finish his game, his game right here.
Whoever you,
Yeah, Michael Walder. I can also ask if Carla wants to come in.
Yeah, actually, ask Carla. Ask Carla.
Yeah.
Actually,
So.
I need to find her game. Like, I'm not even following her game. Who's she playing?
She's
Michael Walder
playing,
has just won a whole rook. That
Nicholas
looks like
Wang.
it's gonna win.
Let me.
Yeah, she's
let me
playing
find
Nicholas
that game.
Wang.
Yeah, let me find that game
It's
because.
actually quite drawish, it seems. So she's gonna have a little bit of time finishing this. So I'll send it to Walter, Mike, if he wants to join you guys, and then after Carla finishes,
If you get Carla,
she wants
that'd be
to.
good. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
She's up for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other person would be Felix. Felix is finishing up pretty fast, so
We'll take them.
yeah. But any.
Yeah,
Okay.
just send everyone. I don't even
Send
care.
everyone.
Yeah, why not?
You trust my judgment
Yes,
on guests anyway.
on everything.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway,
Thanks for joining.
have a good evening. Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Judith.
Thanks.
Bye.
Judith Starre, Chief Tournament Director, getting it done for the Mechanics Institute.
Well, this is a draw. This is very drawish. Rook takes d5. Yeah. Symmetrical pawn formation, the whole 9 yards here. So,
All right. So let's go back to board one. Kyron is down a pawn. It looks like he might have taken a little bit of pressure off, but now will that knight providing
that knight needs to go to b6, but even it's not even secure on b6. I mean, it's just black has some problems here, and apart from being a pawn down, this passed pawn is always going to be an issue. Black doesn't have a secure square for the knight. It's just, it's problematic. He's behind on the clock, and so I guess Black's going to try to play knight a8 and knight b6. That's like the only thing I can think of. But White can play queen a5 or something like that. It's just not going to be. There's not going to be a way to maintain any blockade over there.
Let me
It's very tough for Karen.
let me check on this game we haven't looked at too much. The Alex Chen and Pranav Sairam. This is board 3.
Black is doing very nicely here. Nice active game by Black. The problem in these positions sometimes is you want more than you can have, and that can be a problem. These kind of. So if White plays Queen D3, for example, actually maybe White could be in some trouble here a little bit. Queen D1 looked like it might be forced even. Because of Queen D3, Bishop F3, and then there could be some trouble in.
I think. Oh yeah, that's right.
And I don't. Like I said, I don't see anything winning for Black. I mean, Black the game is equal, and that seems to be sort of the story here.
Now
Maybe a little better for Black with the pressure.
Now, going back to this game that looked very drawish, it looks like Carla's going to win a pawn after g3. Or am I wrong? Oh, no, because Black can play rook e7.
Yeah, that's going to be a draw. And White should play king f1 anyway, stepping towards the center, or f3 probably. f3. It's equal.
Going back to Rui here and Elliott.
Yeah, so this is like two heavyweight boxers, just kind of punching it out here.
Positioning and
yeah.
But Rui's just played g5, kind of looking to.
That's a good looking move. It gains some space on the king side, and
Move the knight to g6 and
or just follow up with king g7 and gain a little space on the king side. I like it. It's good. White needs a little something more definite here.
going back to the board
Tough
one
little
here.
game.
Got that pawn looking to march down.
So queen a5, knight e6, queen a5, queen b2, or b6, queen b2. And black is seizing the only chance he's got to try to make unbalance the position, and that's what he has to do, to try to find some way to stop the b pawn. If black loses one more pawn, if black loses the d6 pawn, it's all over. And can Lenderman play queen a7 and then queen e7 or something like that, threatening the d6 pawn? And that's kind of the d6 pawn is kind of the linchpin of the black defense here. And if that goes, it's going to be tough. Queen b5 is an interesting move.
What do you think of that?
I'm not sure. So
I mean, how do you if you take and then go rook b8?
But then rook takes g6. Yeah. But you could take and play king f8. Michael Walder, what it is.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty fine. Let me get the sound all squared away.
That's right. You got to turn that Twitch volume down. And let me get your name.
Yeah, you got the pandemic beard.
Yes.
Is that a thing? Like that's what it's known as? There we go.
Here we go. I just muted that.
King f8. Maybe rook a1. And white's... All right, here. Alex must have looked a little further than we did here. I mean, this is obvious, this king f8 move. So what's the move here? Bishop c4, maybe? King e7. Bishop takes e6, king takes no, it doesn't quite work. Yeah, then bishop e6, king e6, bishop takes c5, winning another pawn. Yikes. How about bishop c4, and if king e7, bishop takes e6? Forcing king takes e6, because if bishop e6, bishop h4 check, and then white can play bishop takes c5, and then black looks like he's kind of paralyzed. It's amazing.
It's like two doubled pass pawns.
Yeah, they work well together.
Yeah, look at that. But black is kind of paralyzed after that. Actually, it's weird. Oh, maybe rook g7, and then b7. White should be able to win that. I think. So bishop c4. King e7, and then the paradoxical bishop takes e6. Has to take with the king, then bishop takes c5. And then on your next move, pawn to b7. I mean,
oh wow!
I guess.
Check this game out. Let me go over here real quick.
Oh, Michael says you can turn on his audio on now.
Oh yeah. I mean,
And
yeah, as long as you can hear the Zoom, that's all you need.
yeah,
This looks-
yeah. I got the
Perfect.
Zoom.
Good.
This looks like it should be a draw or something.
It's drawn, right?
It looks like it should be a draw, I guess.
Or not. I mean, because, yeah, no, I guess, right?
Both kings are busy, and White's knight can't go beyond the third rank without black queening. So he's going to have to go back and pick up, White can't win, black can't win.
Yeah, that's a draw.
But somebody will go. So Roy is weakened herself on the king side. Maybe I'm not sure that I like the way she played this on the king side. It's risky as anything. A little bit risky. And
I think she really wants to win.
yeah, maybe. And maybe it's the right thing to do. I mean,
Has she beaten Elliot? Like at the TNM? Played Elliot?
I'm not sure.
I actually can't remember.
I can look that up real fast. I have all the mechanics games.
Yeah. It's almost like just look for Rui and Elliot.
Yeah. This is still, maybe White's marginally better, but White needs to create another weakness in Black's camp here or something. And Black's pretty actively placed. It's, unless Black does something silly and exchanges the wrong minor piece or something, it looks still quite holdable.
Let me go back to board one just to.
How's Alameda, Michael? Smoky?
Oh, it's smoky everywhere in this Bay Area.
Yeah. San Francisco went from being the third or second most polluted major metropolitan area in the world to like number 15 today, something like that.
Yeah, just because, yeah. God, I saw Portland is like the worst in the world. They said.
Right. Wow. I'm not sure exactly how this happened.
Well,
So that's it. Bishop D6 looks like the end of the game.
That pawn's just going to march
Yikes.
on now.
Yeah. I wonder if, Black went to the wrong square with the king, but I still think it was pretty tough.
oh yeah, no. Even if this wasn't there, rook takes rook, knight takes, bishop to d6. Still,
Yeah.
Kyron resigns, and Alex Lenderman with 4 out of 4.
Well, and that was basically his toughest opponent that he could have faced in this tournament.
Theoretically.
Except for Michael Walger. And
that would be that's a fantasy. A 2,800 player.
Michael, you can't have that attitude.
Oh no, I go for it when I play these guys because I got nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but no, 2,600 is the highest rated player I've ever beaten.
26? Yeah. Wow.
Well, I mean, this 2,800. I mean, he's 2,800. There's inflations in ratings, Michael. Massive inflation in ratings.
Not to my rating. Shirazi was 2,600 LXC when I beat him. He was I knocked him out of going to the Olympics.
Who was it?
Kamran Shirazi.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
He was actually the highest rated player in the USCF, but mostly from playing Grand Prix events, weaker players, not, so they didn't really want him to go because they thought they had a stronger team. And it got to be contentious, but I knocked him back down in the 2,500s, and so they were. he lost his argument.
I love those stories.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I mean, I think Black's taking a big chance here and needs to play pawn f4, I guess. Because if White plays g3, it's sort of positionally almost, positionally much better for White. Although Black will still retain some dynamic chances, but it looks to me like Black should play pawn f4 here. But this is maybe not what Black should have been doing. I'm not sure, but...
And just a peek here, this is Grandmaster play because Carla has been absolutely refusing to draw. And she's been playing on, and I think she's been offered like a ton of draws.
Well, what is it with this offering tons of draws business?
Well,
Yeah, no, that's
I hate to hear that. It's just not, it's not kosher. It wasn't done back on over the board play. They would,
yeah, I think some of these kids are, learning that,
Yeah, but you got to learn it once. It's like you don't do it. It's I find it
Old school.
really annoying and silly, and also rude and distracting is what it is. And a tactic that players will use to be rude and distracting as well. So,
well, there's a switch you can throw, I think, in chess.com. If somebody offers it, you can say decline all draws or ignore.
well,
Oh, is
that's
that
a good
right?
idea. Yeah.
Unless you want it, and then you gotta
True.
disable it.
Yeah.
No, I know
That's
in over the
interesting.
board play, you can actually, it's called harassment, and you can make a claim.
Sure.
Yeah, over the board or online. Is it easier to be rude over the board or online?
Over the board, people with their candy wrappers and
I just got offered another draw, I think here.
That's just awful. I find that awful. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something that keep happening, it's clear she's not looking to draw. It might be a conversation that we have, and I've had those conversations because it usually happens with kids that they might be a little unaware of what's considered etiquette and not.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm not making a federal case of it. I'm not saying you should go to jail.
And the one thing to do is, if this is annoying, beat them, right?
And actually looks like Black has made a mistake here, and might be in a little bit of trouble.
Through an exchange.
Maybe, and then White playing h5. So, you get hoisted. The problem with doing that, I mean, I'm not sure if that's anything good or not.
oh no, White's winning, I think.
Yeah. And also, you learn as a player that wants to, and White goes back, I guess, didn't think that rook e7 and h5 was good enough.
Oh no.
But you learn as a player trying to become a strong player that to offer a draw is a sign of weakness, and to offer a draw 5 times is a sign of cowardice.
Well, I mean, there's some funny stories around draws. Like Walter Brown offered a draw in a position that was kind of even, and his opponent took it, which really upset him because he was hoping that his opponent would decline it. Actually, his opponent was slightly better, and then overpress.
Well, but you would never find Walter Brown making a move, offering a draw, and then offering a draw on the next move.
Oh no.
And that's unheard of behavior for grandmasters, unless there's some personal animosity between the players. Otherwise, it's unheard of.
Oh, and it wouldn't stand. The director would get involved. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. So Elliott's playing one of those, model games here, but Black is
There's
still
F4.
defending. Yeah. Black's still defending all of M.
So Rui wants to win this game or make or wreak havoc.
Well, this is interesting. What about E4 for Elliott here?
And that's what he played.
Yeah, that looks very
That
strong.
keeps. I mean, Elliott is an opportunist and a player that plays to win as well. I've noticed, and
Yeah, I think Black may have overextended herself.
you take chances when you play for. Yeah, E4 is an interesting move. And definitely a sort of a winning attempt on the white side here. And G3. These players are like are slugging it out on a grand scale here. So if white plays F3, white's going to be worried all the time about getting mated on the back rank.
Well, what about things like E5 and?
Yeah, E5 is played. Yeah, that's a strong move.
Yeah.
Black's queen has no entrance over there.
Oh, it almost has to go back to B8.
She keeps it in the center. Or queen G4 is the idea here. It's the one white piece, there's some white pieces that are sort of like a little bit like,
What's funny is, what about Rook H1 here? The King G1, and all of a sudden you got...
That would have been an interesting move, definitely. And now maybe Black can do a little harassing here with Rook H3.
I was about to say F3.
Yeah. I liked your Rook H1 move, and yeah, this is a blunder on Elliott's part, Queen E2. GF3 is bad now because of Queen H3 check. So he has to backtrack with Queen E3. I mean, or is it a blunder? Do you see it? I guess just F takes G2. Elliott his kingside got opened up very fast here.
Well, that's double-edged.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of black pieces over there still. So.
Yeah, no, I like Rook H1. I mean, my gut
that
tells
was
me
a
it
great idea. That was a great idea. Very unusual kind of attacking and defensive move.
I played something like that against Kepke once. It was not the same position, but it was. It was fun.
Well, I mean, what we're seeing is great fighting spirit here, Abel.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, because Elliott presses for wins, Rui presses for wins, and then they're playing each other, right? And it's a round where, if you win this game, you're still in it to play second or strong second. So.
Well, wait a minute now. Somebody can still beat Lenderman.
Don't count Elliott out of those situations. He's beaten strong grandmasters.
Yeah. Elliott can beat anybody on a given day.
He's gonna have to.
He's gonna have to get through Roy here, though. This has gone really wrong for White here. Rook F2. So? Rook F2 is possible now. I think he's just getting kicked around.
Oh, Rook F2, yeah. Oh, not played. Oh, but look at that. So if bishop takes, rook takes.
And then rook G2, rook H5, but then White's still barely hanging on.
That looked good. Rook
H3 coming up, maybe.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things here. Queen H3, White could play Queen H3 here. And then knight takes D4. Queen H3, knight D4, queen takes G2. And then queen E5 check or rook G8 and then queen, Didn't black miss rook f2?
I think so.
Yeah. So now rook takes f5, and what does Elliot do here?
Rook takes g2.
I know, but it's looking really dangerous now. Rook h5 check and rook a3.
Oh.
Black's really active.
Wow, this is pretty dynamic here.
After rook a3, what about rook a5?
Yeah, rook a5. I guess that queen on the third rank is preventing queen h3. Yep. We're probably missing something. It's funny, black missed rook f2. I think that would have won the game
Earlier.
back there. Mm-hmm.
There's also rook g3 threatening, queen g3 threatening queen g7.
Ooh, rook h3 is a nice looking move. Forcing rook g3.
Oh, wow.
What's happening here? Rook g8, yeah. Yikes. White's got to scurry back
wow.
here. But now rook g3 and queen h3 is a threat. Yikes.
Look at that.
I might be behind you guys.
What a move that is, only because, rook takes rook, queen takes rook with check.
Well, there's also rook c3. If rook takes rook, pawn takes rook.
But then queen h3. Rook h takes g3 and queen h3. Oh, but that doesn't even threaten anything.
Right.
Yeah. Huh. Elliot.
Knight to c5, and Elliot can, or maybe Elliot can start pushing. Yeah, and then push the pawn.
Wow. What a game. I think black maybe should have played rook a3. My idea. I don't know. Yeah.
Doesn't rook a5 answer rook a3 though?
Yeah, I think it did. I think black is going to regret missing rook takes f2 back there. You're given, you've got the position, and the position's open, and there's the shot is available, and then you miss it, and then what?
And then Elliot's at 1:27, and Rui at 3:50. So
White has some threats here now, like knight c5 or queen f4 maybe as well, sort of consolidating a little bit. Yeah, again, this position I think requires a little bit more time on black's part. Black missed something. And now Elliot is... I think that rook was needed on the A file too, to sort of get the attack going from different directions. I don't know. Good for Elliot though. He's defended like a genius. Of course, he missed something, but
yeah, I think this is
better for white now. Starting to look a little better for white.
If all else fails, black can play rook takes rook followed by queen takes rook.
All right, so what's the threat here? Rook f8 after queen h3, knight c5. I might be behind you guys significantly. What's my lag?
No,
Black's
actually,
just played queen h3.
Queen h3 is the last move.
Oh, okay, not so bad then.
So maybe queen f3.
But what's black's threat here? h5, 8. No, black can't play h5. Why didn't?
But what about rook f?
What about
rook f8?
Why didn't Elliot play knight c5? I guess rook f8. Yeah.
What about rook?
Elliot's covering the light squares around his king. But how's he going to win? is going to play queen f4 and e6 or something, or play e6. Wow, what happened? Oh, okay. This could end in one of those queen ending if black plays bishop e4.
Well, what about queen f4 now?
Bishop e4. Yeah, so Elliot, this is, but what happens here? He can't play rook c6. Oh no, he lost his queen. Unbelievable. Ugh, what a blunder.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Rui takes
Yeah, that
down
was just a
Elliot
blunder.
Winslow.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there.
He missed the obvious, the rook g3.
And
he followed up with his idea, but his idea lost his queen.
Yeah, and he
I've
was
done things
down
like
to
that.
under 20 seconds, so he felt pressured. So huge win for Rui
Yeah.
against Elliot Winslow, international
Wow.
master.
Wow.
We have this. This may be one of the last games still going on with Alex Chen and Pranav Saram.
My
White's-
nemesis.
White's
Which
doing
one?
very well here.
No, Alex, I overpressed tonight.
Oh, last week? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Nemesis because of co-authoring with Alexi.
Oh no, it's great. I think he did really well this.
Felix.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going? How'd you do in your game?
I won actually,
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
Fantastic.
for a change.
For a change. It's always good to get a win. So
Yeah, I got this email from Judith. She asked me to join you guys.
Yeah. Come and hang out with us here. I think this is the last game. You just missed Rui put the finishing touches on Elliot. That was kind of an exciting game.
Of course I did.
But here we got this one here. They got seconds on their clock. So we'll see how this one plays out.
Well, White should be winning this, I think. You missed knight b7 check and knight takes a5 earlier, which would have won easily. And now some of these moves are not making any sense here.
That's with no time on the clock.
Yeah,
Type moves.
yeah. White could have played,
The players cannot be held responsible for what they do.
No.
All right, there we go, Felix. This is where the mistakes happen.
Looks like another king and pawn ending.
Endgame Lab. And Pranav declined to draw.
Oh,
Oh, too
White
bad.
could have played maybe king e4. Yeah, this is another draw.
It's just another draw.
Another king and pawn ending.
There we
draw.
go.
Yeah.
There we go. And F Pawn has joined us at the end.
Wow, everybody. Hi, F pawn.
Hey, you missed some action.
Felix, what's your score?
I scored 2 points today.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, so what's your overall total then?
3 out of 4.
Oh, wow. So you're going to be playing
Nice.
top
You'll be playing
2 or
Lenderman.
3 boards.
Maybe
It's kind of
Lender-
funny. I remember when Lenderman made top under, I think, 6 years old. It was published in the chess. What was it? The chess journal.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Was he like 2,200 at 6 years old?
He was like, or maybe 20, or like 2,100, and he was like this little kid.
Boy, he's strong.
Yeah, it's funny because we all know Kyron to be like an incredibly tough player. I mean, even in our Blitz events, he's been, fighting it out with Gadir, Guseanov, but I mean, Lenderman made it look, very technical and almost very easy, right? And it's just
probably it's these sharp kings. This King's Indian thing maybe wasn't the right. I mean, sometimes you just choose the wrong opening, and that's the problem there.
And Judith will be updating the standings shortly, and when she does, we'll put the standings up. But Felix, with 3 out of 4 total.
Yeah, congratulations, man.
You'll be playing on one of the top 3 boards for sure next week, I'm pretty sure.
That's exciting.
Michael, what's your score?
I'm also 3 out of 4.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, maybe you guys will be playing each other.
Playing each other.
Yeah. So before your battle tomorrow, any words?
For next week.
Yeah, for next week. Oh, next week.
I lost to Michael just miserably. I didn't even get out of the opening.
Well, I think I played. I think I made a mistake, and you played like I played it correctly, and then which actually worked very well for me.
It was pretty embarrassing. But to my defense, I was actually I couldn't play on my laptop, so I had to play on my cell phone.
Oh no!
And my girlfriend and I, we were actually
that's not good.
We went for a run, and I thought I'm gonna actually run and come back and play. And when the game started, I was still kind of, running back. and I look at this position, it's like, okay, it looks like Benoni, and I think you can't play Bishop D7 because of E5. But of course, I completely misplayed everything, and I was done like after 15 moves.
So this is going to be the subject of Alexei's article, running and chess, and how the two maybe are not so compatible.
You're supposed to be analyzing the two separately, not doing them together.
Yeah.
So we have the standings updated now on the website. Alexander Lenderman with 4 out of 4. In clear second is Rui with 3.5 out of 4. So
nice.
They'll be playing each other presumably in round 5.
Great practice for Rui for the cadet championship coming up.
And then at 3 points is Kyron Griffith, Elliot Winslow, Michael Walder, Arul Viswanathan, Felix, Nicholas Wang, and Alex
I'm in
Chen.
a good company.
In good company, so you could be playing as high as board 2.
Either Elliot or Michael.
Yeah, and actually, as I'm looking at it, it might be Arul, who's another 2000 player. So we'll see. Well, it depends on the color allocations and all that stuff. But there's a lot that can be done. And actually, getting 5 out of 6 is not out of the question if things bounce the right way. And that happened in the last tournament with Pranav. He sort of got a little bit lucky because he was able to get into 3rd place without having to play a lot of the top players in that section. But Felix, I know you're looking to play these top players and mix it up. So.
I've been having really bad results lately. Just internet chess is. I like playing blitz. I like bullet blitz, but rapid is really.
It's too slow.
It's too slow.
Yeah, it's not. You don't get it. But this format, 35 minutes, it's perfect.
It's better than the traditional rapid where it's like 10 or 15.
Alexei's asking is the cause of the bad result was the running.
Yeah, you need to be there ready to play, not running for your life to get back to play on a computer.
Well, it's funny. What Felix said earlier, I had the roughest time in the beginning playing a serious game on the computer, even at the slower time controls, because the only thing I ever played on the computer before was Blitz. So I just, it was hard for me to sit on my hands.
Pong. Remember Pong?
Oh yeah. So it was hard to take it seriously in the beginning, and I think I'm doing better than that now. But it's also difficult at home because people come up and say, "Hey, what's for dinner tonight?" And I'm like, "Don't talk to me. I'm playing chess."
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Hey, what do you guys feel about like the free events that we had? And we don't have as much of them now, partly because people weren't going. But does it have to be? Is it more about just kind of getting burned out on screen time, or is it you prefer certain time control? Or
Well, yeah, for me, the 3 and 2 is too fast. I'm sure other people, it's their bread and butter, but I'm too old, and so I'll play in the 5 and 2 when it's convenient for me. But the 3 and 2, I get kind of frustrated. I'll play it occasionally, but
because we actually, and I think you played in it. We actually did a free, just like spur of the moment. I just did a G30 last Saturday, and then you got like 14 players for it. And I think people like the longer time control. And I think 35 plus 2 is perfect for what we're doing with the TNL.
So, Judah, when the COVID's over, it'd be wonderful to have you as a guest. Lexi, to answer Lexi's question, so tonight is I'm going to make eggplant parmesan. So.
Oh, yum.
Oh, wow. Great. So you can soothe Elliot, who is probably steaming from a tough loss.
Sometimes there's no consoling him. He just needs time. Other time it's like, okay.
I think it's the same for all of us, though. So, guys, thank you for kind of hanging out with us and tuning in. And good luck to you both next week. You'll be playing on some of the top boards. We'll be following you.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for doing this.
That's not very encouraging. I hate when people following me. And then I love reading Paul's and then Paul's comments to the nonsense that I typically play.
It's uninspiring chess. Well, I remember the one game I played at the TNM where I played as a sub on board 2 against Christian Clemens, and I survived and drew that game. But I went in, I watched the broadcast over, and he was saying that I was playing some uninspiring chess. So if he's saying things like that to you, you're in good company, because he's giving it to all of us.
I was sitting next to you in that game. Yeah,
that's right. You were playing Chiron.
I'm just making snap decisions there.
No, but it was honest and it was right. My game sucked, and I was lucky to get a draw.
I remember how Shankland was actually commenting on my game on the top board. Felix, great guy. We used to play when we were like kids and stuff. Great guy, plays complete garbage. But, cool guy, Cooper.
Yeah. Well, I think we all play garbage at his level.
You're lucky.
Thank you, Shank.
You're lucky that you got that, because he's so brutally honest. I remember one time Stearman came in like 15 minutes late for his game. And he had called us and said, hey, I'm going to be a little bit late, school and stuff. And he shows up late, and Sam just ripped him up. That's so disrespectful, and and just trying to tell Sam, no. He had school and he told us. And then he's like, well, that's his problem. He needs to show up and be on time.
Back in the day, there was all kinds of behavior, especially showing up late was no problem. People did that all the time. Yeah. It was. They'd try to psych people out, not be, they'd be seen in the tournament hall, and then they wouldn't show up until like 55 minutes had passed by, right?
Steven Krasnov, right? The legendary Krasnov.
Yeah, what happened to him? He kind of abandoned. There was one time I had to yell at him. I think he stopped coming after that because.
Well, a lot of those players, Natalia told me decided to start playing pool on Thursday nights. Go and shoot some billiards. I think they're getting old and tired of these young kids coming up and beating them up.
Are they playing online pool now?
Who knows?
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It was a pleasure.
Thank you all, and everyone. We will be back for the final 2 rounds next Tuesday. For the Tuesday Night Marathon, and then next week, starting Friday, we will have live coverage of the U.S. Cadet Championship starting Friday, and then going through Saturday and Sunday. the top 8 under 16, and organizers invite Rui will be among the participants. So we'll be rooting for her next week also.
For sure.
Thank you, everyone.
Interesting.
And have
Thank
a good
you.
night.